You gotta stop letting everybody do what they want.
Right, shut that shit down.
Nigga, I don't be
Yeah.
here. I be at work.
You got too many chargers. You gotta unplug. Oh yeah, that makes sense though. Somebody home all day.
All day, yeah.
Yeah, they home all day.
Everybody.
My wife and the kids. She
That's,
homeschooled her two kids.
they gotta get some paperback books. Fuck that.
Nah, she
iPad.
be opening the blinds. The mad blinds be open. I'm like, why you be opening up all the blinds? She's like, keep the lights off. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. You trying.
Oh man. All right. I'm here, DJ Hamperstein Pee Wee in the building. How's everybody doing this evening? Yeah, all right. You know they can't hear nods.
That's
Wonderful.
We here.
magical.
Indeed. B, man, you been MIA, man. What up, though?
Oh, working like a slave, good brother. Working like a slave.
Oh, they ain't paying you?
Hell yeah, they pay me. Shit.
Maybe a little bit better than a slave.
Oh, well.
Okay. Eddie, what up, though?
What it do? What's poppin'?
Hey, shit, man. Adrian, you know it's tough. What you drink? What kind of soda was that?
I've got pineapple soda.
Though you know those are the two for $2 too. Them shits.
Nah, they got 79. They ain't even on sale no more, yo.
Ain't no sale no more. Niggas done caught on.
They done caught on.
Or Alex.
Hey, Hamp. Hey, y'all.
What's shaking?
Not much.
Everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
What up, Mary?
What's up, squad?
Okay.
Nah, Mary.
Get out of here.
Y'all thug today.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
Come on, man. Jesus Christ. Q&A, what up, though?
What's up? Ain't sure how we sound though.
That sound all right. That sound, you sound how you sounded before we told you how to not sound like that. So, it's all good. It's all good, though. Asia, what's good?
I'm great. I came back from the desert all refreshed.
Word.
I'm rejuvenated. I'm ready tonight. Let's do it.
Where you went? Arizona?
I did. I went to Scottsdale and Sedona and got my refresh and detox and recentering on.
Oh, you went there for vacation?
I went there to detox and recenter. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Amongst the whites? Okay.
Amongst the Native Americans. Thanks for asking. It was needed to do. Thanks for asking.
How did you detox?
I did a lot of meditation, a lot of journaling, did a lot of deep breathing.
Killing people with that.
Hilarious.
Entering journaling. What the fuck is that?
Wow.
You get some detox.
Oh no.
Man, oh man. You're doing some shit that I would never try, man. That's brave. That's what's up, though.
And I do.
All right, so today we're gonna visit this topic, man. How do you show up in the world? So let me play this first clip. Make sure y'all let me know.
Still playing at a high level at 45 when you had to stop at 35.
That's what you do.
That's the point.
That's what you do. Every time I call something into question, I'm jealous.
No,
I did what I
never
did.
said you were jealous of Baker Mayfield.
I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better than you.
Better.
I got to see what you do. You take personal shots.
No, I don't take personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal
Put your glasses back on.
Can I finish? You're willing to take a personal shot at me to say this man is better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?
Well, because you just
Go ahead.
you disrespect him. It's
Go
just
ahead.
you know what? It's beneath your
You would
dignity.
disrespect me to support him.
No, well, I'll support him over anybody because he's the greatest player who ever
Have
played
at
your game, and it's by
Have at it.
far.
This cracker. Ooh,
So,
ooh, shit.
did you guys see this clip?
Yes. When
Man, I
it
think
happened.
that's
That was
10
when
times,
it
boy.
That's when it happened.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
kind of crazy. What you guys' initial thoughts on what happened between Skip and Shannon?
I
on
think
Undisputed?
Shannon was super emotional. Like, I was so disappointed in him. Like, really, you really let this man take you off your pedestal, off your mark. Because Skip's opinion of you matters that much to you. You sat there and got a high-pitched voice, threw your glasses off, very emotive with your hands. I was very disappointed. Like, if you know who you are, Shannon, don't let somebody else's opinion of you take you off your mark. I was disappointed.
Asia, I'm actually glad you said that because you know the old adage sticks and stones. Do you believe in that?
No. I
So
think
then,
that words do hurt.
yeah. So why can't he show his emotion?
Because how does one man's opinion, if you know who you are, impact you that much? Yes, words can hurt, but they shouldn't take you off your mark, right? If you allow them to hurt, they can hurt. I'm not saying that they can't. They can, but you have to know who you are. And there's no way in the world that man who knows who he is as a player, he's in the Hall of Fame. How are you so offended by this man that you got a high-pitched voice? He was hurt, not even offended. His feelings were hurt.
What if his love language is affirmation?
So you let this white man Skip just tear you up on TV and your love because he didn't give you your love language? No, know who you are. I didn't know.
Well, what I'm saying is right, and so we can go two ways with this.
Okay.
Because I think he was offended so much because that's supposed to be his friend. So we could do it one of two ways, right? You could jump in. So I wanted to do this based on work, right? Because he's on national TV at work, right? And they know Shannon be flip-flopping a little bit with that code switching shit. Or we could do friendship. But I think work is more appropriate. What you guys think?
Work.
Work.
So sticks and stones, because right? We was having a conversation the other day, Asia, right? Like about the Bible and shit. The Bible say your mouth, you run your mouth, it calls for strokes. Like somebody will punch you in your shit for talking too much and talking crazy.
It said in the Bible.
No, it doesn't say that in the Bible. Okay, what the Bible says about you.
So here's the thing: if you does it say I'll punch you in your shit? No, but that's what it's saying.
But what the Bible says is that death and life are in the power of the tongue. That's what the word says. The word also says
that's what Paul says.
Proverbs. Okay, I'm talking about in Proverbs as well. It says a man shall eat by his words that he speaks out of his mouth, and so that also equates to.
I knew it. A fool lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes. Proverbs 18:6.
Okay, but can we also talk about the other parts too?
Well, here's the thing. I'm just telling you what it says. You talking about no, it doesn't. Like, why would
that's not the only thing it says about the words of your mouth.
I didn't say only. I said that's what it says. Like,
that's
why?
One of the things it says. Yes, that is one of the things.
Because if we go down that road, you're not going to survive.
It's not meant to be.
This is offline conversation between you and I about what we're going to survive about the Bible. Because I will go there all day, all night with you about that. We're not doing that today. We're not doing that today. We're doing right now.
We're saying, stop. What I'm saying is stop saying. If I'm saying this, why say it doesn't? Because I read this shit. I'm just saying
I did too 5,000 times.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, you didn't know that was in there, right?
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out.
So I know what you're talking about in Paul. What Paul said, right? And then just to make the point, right? He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life. So the Bible does back up the fact that people be saying shit. It ain't just free. Like there is a penalty. So when we saying Shannon acted out, I'm just wondering: are we saying like he shouldn't have, he couldn't have, it's unwarranted?
I would say that it was warranted, and I would agree with about 25% of what Asia said in regards to it not having been something to completely knock him off his square, right?
Mhm.
Like, if you know anything about Skip Bayless, he's a troll. He's one of those crackers that gets close enough to black people, but up until the point that he protects whiteness overall, which is the code, right? White people
Mhm.
tend to stay on code. No matter what, white people go right back to like, oh no, I got to let you know that you're still a nigga. What I thought was very interesting that it comes on the heels of Shannon Sharp having talked all that shit about Kyrie Irving, right? Talking all that shit in regards to that tweet he put out about the HBCU that allowed him to play football in order to him to go into that Hall of Fame career that he had. And then he was talking shit, talking about, oh, had I had any other choices, I wouldn't have gone to HBCU. So it's like you shitted on your own blackness and your own people twice. And then here comes this skinny ass cracker that you on TV with every single day. And he was the one to press your buttons. He was the one to knock you off your square. So it's just like, yeah, in order, in regards to Ham's question, like, yeah, he should not have allowed this man to knock him off his square, but it's also like you play with your code switching. The average black person in the corporate space, you know, to maintain your shit all the time because you don't want to fuck up your check. But this dude got comfortable around whites, and whites had to remind his ass. It's like Paul Mooney says, everybody gets their nigga wake up call. And he got hit.
He got
God
hit.
bless
I
the
agree
dead.
with you on that.
God bless the dead too, Paul Mooney. What you think, Alex? So you can address the video if you like, but you know, how do you show up at work? Is code switching necessary?
So this is the first time that I've seen the video, so I don't know anything about Shannon Sharp or whatever the other man's name is. But if that was his
Wow.
I'm just saying, I'm sorry. But if that's supposedly his friend, to me, the outburst looks like it's something that's been built up. I don't know if he normally reacts like that. But what I don't know. I need more context. I think I need more context when it comes to that particular situation.
That's fair.
But yes, code switching is necessary. I need and want my check. And I think to keep a peace of mind, I think to keep a safe space at work, you have to. You have to know how to move in different rooms and different spaces, whether that be in work or out of work, whether that be in your intimate circle of work friends, when you're in the room with your boss, when you're in the room with potential partners, you have to. But I think as Black people, we've been doing it. It's ingrained in us. I think a lot of times it's something that we don't even second guess. I don't even think a lot of times that we realize that we're doing it. And for some, it's looked at as professionalism.
Oh, okay. So you deem code switching professionalism?
I think in the workplace, yes.
But you can't be yourself and just not use bad words or the term nigga because you're not with your people. Like, would that consider code switch?
No, I'm not saying particularly in the sense of the term of using the word nigga. I'm just saying like the way you carry yourself. Like you have to remain professional. Like it's different if I'm with the people that I'm like my friends at work and we're hanging out and we're doing an independent something different project. We're going to speak differently. The vibe is going to be a little bit more relaxed. But when a boss or the CEO comes in and we're having a meeting amongst other people, you know, a certain decorum is needed to be had. I don't necessarily know if I would call that code switching or would I just call that me being professional.
Okay.
Basically, different environments call for different ways of responding. You have different behaviors. Sorry to chime in there, but I got what you meant, Alex.
No, you're right. You're right.
I understand that, but is it
But
code switching?
I wouldn't call it code switching.
No, you're just learning how to be in different environments.
Right.
Calling it, to me personally, calling it code switching is saying that Black people can't be professional.
And we can.
So my thing is being professional is being professional. Doesn't mean that I'm code switching because I'm not using slang or I'm just being more in my proper appearance. I work in the medical field. So yes, when I have directors that are coming in, directors of nurses and things like that I have to deal with, or in my environment in general, because it is a hospital, I'm going to act a certain way versus when I'm at home. Now, does that mean I'm code switching? No, it's just, this is my element that I'm in at this time. You need to know as a person, not even just being Black, but as a person, how to adjust in certain surroundings to survive. Because if you don't, you won't. And just like the situation in the video that I seen, he was allowing this man to eat him alive. You get what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, I understand why you're reacting, but sometimes I feel like that emotional piece of it, you got to keep it out, because what it seems like to me is, what is that, Skip? That white
Skip
dude?
Bayless.
But
whatever he was saying, he's felt for a long time. So my thing is, was his emotion, again, back to, was his emotion based off of what he said exactly, or the fact that he thought that this dude was his friend? So my thing is, like he said, he feels like he was taking a shot at him, which it was, because why are you involving this person and his opinion about how somebody's doing? It's like, you can't have an opinion about, oh, somebody's just doing they're not having a good week. Oh, are you mad because they're not having a good week because they're better than you? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of that is underlying issues that people do have, and they do cover up because of whatever they're trying to put out there to the public eye. So there may be some issues that, Skip does have against Shannon that is just, was just covered up for so long, and he was triggered.
Okay, that's fair. What you was about to say, B?
I was going to say, maybe it's just me, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's just who Shannon is, like, overall as a person. Like, if you watch some of his interviews, you'll see he is a very, I guess you could say, rambunctious person.
Animated?
Huh?
Like animated?
Well, yeah. Now, I've never recalled a time he ever threw his glasses off, but again, if you watch some of his interviews, you'll see the high-pitched voice and the intensity, the compassion about the topic. So, I mean, we can say that probably is who he is. Like, he's a very passionate person.
Okay.
Yeah, and we got to keep in mind too, like, it's a debate show, right?
Yeah.
So, Love, you talk. I feel like, you know what I'm saying. Don't come from my boy Shannon, y'all, because there's been times
I want to say a lot more. I'm trying to give you
It's my turn. You talk. All right. You mean to tell me you never been in an argument with somebody or gone back and forth, and then you got upset and started like yelling or boom, 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 like anywhere? Like, it happens. Q did me and Q, man. I remember one time me and Q got into it. I was mad the whole next day, yo. But that just happens when you already, and I was mad at myself, like, damn, you still mad at this nigga? But it's just the heated nature of always going back and forth. So was Skip wrong? Like, absolutely. Cause Shannon was right too for Chuck. Really, he could have went off a lot further, and I think he still could have been good. He's doing other things now. He might have would have got let go of. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But it happens with us all, regardless of your work environment. We are not always in control, especially in an environment when you're going back and forth with somebody for how long they've been doing it, like 5-6 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's the nature of it. Boom, 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 and you're gonna catch it.
But all I'm saying is, I have so much to say right now, but I'm gonna keep it real short. You're right. The nature of the show is a debating show. I mean, kind of the premise is to debate. So if you're a true debater and a skilled debater, then you should know how to handle those kind of situations and to get your point across without throwing your glasses and showing that you are butthurt. Of course, I've gotten upset. I've gotten upset before I work, of course. But as I've matured in my emotional immaturity, in my emotional intelligence, I know how to react when it comes to those kind of situations. And so all I'm saying, yes, absolutely. Because I know people make me, I have a bad temper, but very rarely will anyone know because I don't allow that part out. And
hold on, but how much confrontation are you involved in at work? Because they're doing this first thing in the morning for years, and that's all that they are doing.
You understand that at work, I was constantly, my intelligence was constantly being questioned. Mm-hmm. Like that was my job. I was the only female, the only Black in charge. I had people come to me left and right, questioning my intelligence, questioning my qualifications, questioning if I deserved to be in those spaces that they weren't allowed to go into. And I was in a room full of nothing but white men for years. And so they would ask me questions, try to get the gotcha moment. So I've been in situations and I've learned how to maintain my composure. Did I immediately do it? No, I was also in my 20s and 30s too. But as I've gotten older and been in those same situations, I know how to control compose myself. That's all I'm saying. He could have composed himself, come back with facts, come back with stats, or come back and skip a different way. But let's not forget, these two are friends. They also, I believe, play characters, right? And so I think they fall into the characters. And I think Skip was still in character. Shannon got out of his character because he really got butthurt. So let's be very clear. I watched this show. And I'm sure that you all on the top row I shouldn't assume that. I'm assuming you guys watch it as well a lot. You know they are playing characters. That's why Skip was like, put your glasses back on. Why are you so mad? Because he was still in character. Shannon got out of character because he really took it to heart that he was getting compared to Tom Brady, and he left when he was 35, and Tom's still playing when he's 45. Which I can't stand Tom Brady. But all I'm saying is he came out of character, not Skip.
Fuck Skip Bayless.
I'm not capping for him. I'm not don't do it. I'm not capping for him. F him. I don't care about him. What I'm saying is the situation at hand is what I'm addressing, right? And so I'm not capping for him. Like I don't even who cares about him.
Yeah, but he hit a note though because I got friends that are professional. Yeah, I got friends that are professional athletes, man. And if you even know the remote level of ego that these guys have, it's just like, yeah, like I said earlier, he got off his square, but he did touch something that is profoundly sensitive and near and dear to a Shannon Sharp, right? So it's like, even though, yeah, we were playing characters, like, it's like, yo, what the fuck did you just say to me? Do you know who the fuck I am? Like, it went straight into ego mode, but he caught himself. He was just like, you know what? Whatever, right? It's like, that's not going to go into a fight. He's not going to fuck up his money. Plus, it's like, Skip Bayless is like 30 pounds. Like, it's not going, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to fare well for Shannon, but he did touch his ego, though.
Well, I don't think he touched his ego as much as it could be that they were having sidebar conversations and some slick shit was probably being said off camera. And I don't know who the fuck made the point, but I'm going to give you your credit to whoever was kind of saying that it just seemed like some stuff that was built up and held in. Alex. That's what that was given to me. Like to A Love's point, yes. If you watch the show, they are in character. To B's point, Shannon is a very passionate person, but for what it looked like with that particular episode, something had to be said other than just Tom Brady's a better player than you, and then it struck his ego. Like that shit. Maybe like he's been saying it. Yeah, like it's some other shit, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and people feel differently about their passions too. Like you got to understand, just like how some people are triggered by you talking about their kids, like we talking about somebody's passion. So anything can trigger them in regards to their passion. I give grace for anybody that feels disrespected in regards to something they're that passionate about. You get what I'm saying? So it's like people work so hard to get in the position that they are, especially athletes. They work so hard to get where they are. It's like talking about their children. So to blatantly on TV disrespect them and talking about something that he feels so passionate about, it's like, yo, like you know what my trigger is. And I feel like he intentionally just went ahead and hit that trigger because he knew he was going to get a reaction. I don't care how professional you are, how much you know, everybody has a trigger that may cause for them to do something that they normally would not do. And from the athlete perspective, I know athletes specifically feel that way about who they were during their time.
Yeah, and he's a Hall of Fame level talent. Like and he told him you don't care about his Super Bowls, you don't care about the fact that he's in the Hall of Fame. That would get you punched in your mouth.
I just want to also just chime in before we switch topics to what Asia said. I think when you are skilled in the art of debate, you improve your argument, you don't raise your voice, right? And I think a lot of times people think because they're being loud that their point is correct, and a lot of times it's not. I have seen people, and I've been in spaces, and I'm actually admire people who can say everything that they need to say in a cool and calm manner. They don't need to raise their voice, and they don't need to swear. Like those are the people that, for me, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna play with you, because that's a different type of self-composure or decorum that you have. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Any final thoughts on this?
I got a final thought, but part of me is like, that's what Shannon Sharp get too, because he be up there while Skip be disrespecting all these athletes, talking crazy, and he keying, and now boom, you got hit with it, and you don't like it, but it was cool when everybody else was getting it. So it's my final thought.
Man, word. Interesting. So did we wait? So did we get the code switching, or we just talk about Shannon?
Not really.
No, I feel like overall, like code switching, and I feel like people People mix up
Concise.
code
Be
switching and being
concise
professional.
now. I know you. Be. What's the word, Asia? Succinct.
Succinct.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like code switching and being professional are two different things, but people correlate them the same.
Yeah, that kind of sounded what Alex was saying, but I think Nate tried to clarify it.
So then maybe let's define what code switching is then.
Let Asia go.
So I real quick, I like defining things. We're all talking about the same thing, Alex. I do appreciate that, and I want to do that. But I want to talk about code switching, and I think it's kind of it should be offensive, honestly, because it's like you feel like you have to talk a certain way or behave a certain way, and if you don't, then you're code switching. Like the way I'm talking on this show, I talk the same way at work. I don't really have any other way how I interact with people, but I've also been accused of being let's call me an Oreo when I was growing up. That's old school. I was called an Oreo all my life, and I've been made fun of all my life because I spoke a certain way. And so because I didn't switch up at school and or work and with my friends, I was made fun of. So I think if you aren't buttoned up, then maybe you should then. Because I know when I go to a restaurant or I go even to McDonald's, I'll say McDonald's, right? Or even Walmart, I expect a certain level of professionalism from the people that work there. So if you want to call that code switching and say you're offering better customer service and saying, hello, how are you? How may I help you? Then code switch then. Because I require, because I'm giving you respect. And so if you got a code switch to give respect at work, then code switch then. Don't be, what the F you want or what you want to don't do that. Do not do that around me. Because if you're at work, I'm gonna sit there and correct you and be like, excuse me.
What if they say, Asia, was it like if it's a woman, a black woman, she says, "What's up, sis?"
I'm like, hey, how are you? I do. I'm like,
but she's still being respectful, right?
Yeah, that's not disrespectful at all.
But is that professional?
Hey, sis, what's up?
I hate sis. I hate that.
Not bad. And so I say sis, like amongst y'all. I'll sit there and I said it in the chat before to y'all. Hey sis, because I think that's a certain level of familiarity that I have with you all. And so if there's a familiarity, like if I go to the same store every day, I go to Harris Teeter every day and I see the same cashier, it may become the hey sis, because we've had conversation. We've had, relational moments in our conversation. I see you all the time. So I think that's okay. If I see some random chick and I don't really fool with you, you're like, what's up, sis? Like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but this is lady that's in front of Harris Teeter. Hey sis, can I get something to eat? I want some potato salad. No, ma'am. Ma'am, no, ma'am. Because you're nasty and you're trying to use that relational piece to get something out of me. And so I look at people's intentions on how and what they do and say.
Okay.
Wait, quick. So you wouldn't get her no potato salad?
You wouldn't get no potato salad?
Wow.
I did not. Let me tell you why. Let me. I know. Never mind. I won't.
Be ruin me with the storytelling shit.
Can I just say that I think when people say code switching and professionalism is usually equated to being white. Like, I think that's really what it is. Why can't Black people be professional as well? We can be professional. We're multifaceted. We can hey sis you and hi, how are you at the same time. You're being your authentic self.
All right,
that's what I was saying.
Because I feel like there's been several definitions of it. So basically,
Asia was supposed to define it. Asia was supposed to give us the game, but she didn't. Go ahead, B.
So what I'm saying was code switching be changing who you are depending on the situation at hand?
It
No, not necessarily.
Equated to.
That kind of makes more sense though, what B said.
Yeah, because you're switching to make the other person comfortable.
I feel like code switching is selling somebody out though at the same time.
See, now
it'll be selling yourself out.
Selling the culture out in general.
Well, it'd be you because you're switching the code.
You would be the sellout.
But what B said probably right, you switching it. What'd you say, B?
Switching who you are depending on the situation at hand.
But what if that's who you really are? You have a professional side and you have your down to earth side.
But okay, why are we mixing professional? Is it because of how do you show
that's what people consider it?
Yes, people consider when you're being professional. Like me, I sit.
Hold on. So what about if you go to a party that's full of white people, as opposed to a party full of black people? I think that's better because we thinking about professionalism. So what about the crowds? Are you dude, and you drinking beer and Bud Light and shit like that?
Well, I drink Bud Light if I'm with a black or white. So
put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
I don't drink no Bud Light.
But my thing is, like, what's the problem with adjusting around your surroundings?
Well, I mean, but it would depend. If we're going to use the example Hamp gave, I'm not going to switch up like it's a party. Like, I'm just going to be me. Now we're going to incorporate the work world. I mean,
stick to the party though. If you switch because of the people you're around, that's a code switch, right?
Yeah, then that would be.
I wouldn't be there if I don't have genuine interest in that. So if it's not me,
so therefore you wouldn't
be. If it's not me to be in that environment, like partying with white people be fun as hell sometimes. So am I gonna go to the white party? Hell yeah. Does that mean I'm not who I am? Hell no. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like what? Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting. I apologize.
Like when we was in college, we went to all the. Well, I wasn't in those colleges, but I attended all those college parties. They were full of white people. Was I partying with them? Hell yeah. Why? Because I got the liquor that I wanted. Being underage and there was no drama. It was fun. Was I code switching? No, but I have fun.
Well, we're not talking about that.
Well, we're not talking about fun. We're not talking about having fun. We're just about code switching within that environment that you were in.
Well, what exactly would be code switching if I want to?
Well, like Hamp said, hey, what up, dude?
Hell yeah.
Hi, how you doing? Good afternoon, buddy. Goddamn, it's good to see you. You know what I mean?
Playing beer pong, doing Bud Light, keg stands, shit like that.
Shit like that.
If that's what you like to do, then do it.
Code switching.
But what Hamp is saying is, would you do that amongst black people? Is what he's saying.
You can get black people to do that shit. It'd be mad black people down with the shit.
Okay, but how many black people ping pong, and whatever? I mean,
who won't? If it's a party and it's fun, they're gonna do it. As long as it's a bunch of black people, it could become a black people thing. Like
no, but it's not though. Stop that shit. We don't play. Not? We go to part. You know, we went to black school. Remember? We don't fucking play beer pong. We play tunk, right, Adrian?
Black people gonna play beer pong.
Two monies. You know what I'm saying? That's
we gonna put money on it. We gonna remix it.
No, we
don't. I feel like it's a thin line between being able to adjust around you. I feel like it is important, and it's a part of success.
But is it a code? We understand. I don't know if it's a part of success. I think that's a problem in itself. But is it code switching regardless of the intent?
I don't think it's code switching at a party. I think it's about how comfortable are you at that party, right?
I don't play beer pong, Alex. White people
are
not.
Even if it's not okay, let's say it's just a regular old party, right? If I'm not comfortable in the space that I'm in, I may not dance. Or if I do, I may do a little sway, a little two-step. But versus if I'm in a comfortable environment, then I'm really gonna party, turn up, do what I need, do what I would regularly do. But I wouldn't call that code switching.
Okay.
It's just a matter of you being comfortable. But I do, when I think of code switching, I think of you altering how you really are to accommodate the other person, to make them feel comfortable.
Does it? I want to ask you this question. Does it involve doing things that you don't want to do, or you're not comfortable doing, in terms of code switching?
I think that would be a part of the code switching definition.
Okay, I don't know. Cause we trying to get to it. Asia was supposed to define it, but she didn't.
No, Alice is going to. But I think, let's say that the underlying issue of code switching is being inauthentic. I think code switching, the underlying premise is being inauthentic.
Okay.
And so I don't code switch. Do I change up my behavior around different people? Absolutely. When I'm at church, I'm around my intercessor friends, my ministry friends, and my pastor friends, because I was in that world. I grew up in that world. I behave a certain way, obviously. When I'm around, but that's still who I am. I'm very authentically a spiritual person. I'm a minister and all that. Around y'all, and I say y'all, like around him, around my brother and the rest of them, I act a different kind of way. I'm a little bit more relaxed, and I sit there and I drink, and I'll sit there and they bring stuff out of me that's in me already. And and Hamp says I'm stunting all the time on the things I won't say on this podcast that I've said to him at the last party we were at. When I'm around my professional friends, again, I am very authoritative because I have to take charge. That's what I am in that environment. Again, I'm authentically who I am. I am authentically a leader. So I don't code switch, but I do switch up how I act because of the environment I'm in. But it's all of who I am. I'm multifaceted. And I'm being my authentic self. Now, code switching is inauthentic. It is being someone or something that you are not to accommodate somebody else. So that's the definition of code switching. Alex, do you agree, or are you going to say something different?
Thank you, because that's what I said. Black folks is multifaceted. I said,
and I feel like that's the biggest issue. I feel like I feel like a lot of issue with Black people is feeling like that somebody else can't be more than just Black. You get what I'm saying? Like, if that makes sense. Like, I don't have to speak the slang. I don't have to, do all this extra stuff all the time. I don't have to have the long nails, lashes, whatever, like the weave down my back. I don't have to do that all the time to just be able to be like, okay, like, I'm Black, I'm still myself. This is what I'm doing. This is me. Because you can be able to be a chameleon around your environment, and that's okay. Like, everybody think you got to be this one person all the time, no matter where you're at. And I feel like as Blacks, we have the hardest time adjusting to that. Like, like, people have seen me in work environments before and be like, oh, why are you speaking white? Why are you talking white? And it's like, no, I'm just not using any slang. It doesn't mean that I'm anybody other than myself. I'm still myself. This is just who I am at work.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not switching ever. Nothing. I think that's an issue. I think we continue to chameleonize ourselves to be like them because that's how we deem success. That's what we see as success. I'm not saying that you have to be talking slang everywhere, but I'm treating everybody how I would treat you guys even.
But Hemp, you're a very professional person. Hemp, you barely speak with slang. You barely speak out of context.
Shit, I say nigga all the time.
Yeah, saying nigga, yeah, but
at work. Wait, at work.
So there was a time when we were in the back with the guys, right? I'm like, y'all niggas bugging. These new rappers are terrible, right? Whatever we talking about. So the white girl come back there, she like turned blush because we was just talking to each other. I'm like, we're not talking to you. Go back in the front. And she walked her $5 ass back in the front. We not talking to you. Period. Man. Like, you can't freeze up, Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Do us a favor, hit the like button right now. Definitely share the channel and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And that was a good one, man. I gotta analyze that shit more, man, for sure. All right, next topic. Computer.
Every nigga in the community, in the hood, toting a gun, his bullet is for another nigga. When he loading a gun, he thinking about killing another nigga. When he put it in his pants pocket, he hollering about this is for a nigga. He never think to pull that trigger and the target is gonna be a white face. No nigga, he don't even dream of that. It's a nightmare. If a nigga dream of killing the white man, he wake up in a nightmare and say, "Ooh, thank you, Lord, I thought I killed the white man." But he'll fantasize and dream about killing a nigga all day long.
Do you support Black Lives Matter?
No, I do not support Black Lives Matter. I ain't fought in one bitch, let alone 3 gay bitches nowhere. And that ain't to disrespect the gay culture. I just think the man is supposed to lead. And Black Lives Matter, they don't fight a nigga that's getting mistreated by the child support system. They ain't showing up when a nigga going to court with the injustices of the court system. They wait to a ragged ass nigga like George Floyd, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, little disrespect for ass. They wait till people like that get killed, right? Police ain't never shot a nigga with his degree cap on. You ain't never seen the police kill a nigga with a pair of work boots. Every nigga.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, I know who this is.
So Charleston White, boy.
Charleston White.
So his name is Charleston White. So he don't code switch. Now he will, like on his interviews, he'll speak whatever you need to speak, but he'll tell you the reasons why he says some of the stuff he says. Because he does say that he'll play a character to get a rise out of people, but also when he naming stuff, when you think about what he's saying, it sounds more ignorant than what it is.
So I was for the first 60 seconds, 30 seconds about the whole black man, the gun in his pocket and killing black people, I was tracking with him on that. I said, oh, this man speaking facts. Then that Neanderthal craziness about he's not following a bunch of bees and women don't lead and men gotta lead. He just went off the deep end with that. And out of my mouth.
What did he say? He said he's not following a woman nowhere. Let alone what he say, 3 gay bitches.
That was a sentence. So, but can I say this? What I do agree with what he said, and that is very profound. So he does say something kind of shock value, but it's very profound. Black men typically will put a gun in their pocket or in their holster and walk around, legal or illegal, thinking about defending themselves more often than not against another black person. They don't go think about going around killing white people. I'll say dudes outside my house right now, they be shooting up everybody, all the community up. They're not going to Northwest, or Georgetown, or to Stafford, or any Potomac. They're not going over there shooting up people and trying to find people to shoot. They really are thinking of shooting the other dude, black man looks like him, down the street because of territory, money, another woman, whatever. So I agree with him on that, and it's crazy to me.
Well, where you live at is also 90% black.
Okay.
Right, and violence is a matter of proximity as well.
The country. Okay, what's about the country? That we all live in the United States. Okay, can we agree upon that? And so I'm talking about the same black men that is in Connecticut, in Utah, or in Nebraska. They are not going out shooting white people. When you hear about them shooting as another black person, it's not about shooting another white person.
I think they were saying it's based on proximity.
Yeah.
But with the white people, what do you talk? That makes
all right. So, Asia, let me break it down
white
for a
people
second.
are mobile. They can go and.
No, what he's saying is white people kill white people just like black people kill black people.
But white people kill black people. White people will kill black people more often than a black man killing another white person. Say that I'm wrong. Please sit there and be wrong.
I agree with you, but I think what he's saying is that it's to black people. It is more. There's going to be more outcry if I go and I kill the white man versus if I kill somebody who looks like me. So as a whole in the country, a white person's life is regarded more than a black person's life.
That's true.
So
Black people, right? By black people specifically.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think Asia, I don't disagree. I was just saying what B, and I think Eddie chimed in to say, because I had a question before, and we could do this another day, but is the hood or is hood wherever niggas is at?
I would say hood. Living in DC, I would say hood is where niggas is at, because these niggas out here shoot anywhere. In front of the damn White House, Capitol building, they'll shoot you in front of busboys and poets.
White people will travel and shoot in front of the White House.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about these local niggas I'm familiar with.
Not even like the shooting thing, though. But like you saw how everybody flooded, just to use this area as an example, PG County, and how it instantly got worse, instantly got more dirty, instantly got more poor, right? And now Charles County, the same thing. You got more crime, car break-ins, hard crime, carjacking, things of that nature. Now, those people are moving from the poor places, right? So that could be the catalyst. But do niggas just do this type of shit?
And there is a mentality attached to that, right? You gotta have this opinion, but also consider the school system. You gotta have this opinion, also consider profoundly poor ass healthcare. You gotta have that opinion, also consider over policing, right? You gotta consider food deserts, right? Spiritual deserts as well, right? So you're not eating foods that reinforce some sort of healthy mentality. You're not in a spiritual place, right? There's no support system. You also got to consider that, a lot of the crime is being committed largely gender-wise by young black men, right? Or young black Latino men or whatever, right? Who's raising them, right? A lot of them are coming from single-parent homes, mostly women, right? So there's no structure. There are not a consistency of men who stand on something to wrangle these little niggas up like, yo, like, stop fucking up, right? So we're running free. And it's just like every person that gets on public transportation and you see like 15, 20, 60-year-olds coming, You nervous as hell. You don't know what's gonna go down, what they're gonna do, none of that.
I think it's a mentality, and I think it's across races. Honestly, I'm being very honest. I think it's a mentality.
How do you show up?
Right, but I just gave you context to that mentality, right? So just saying it's a mentality, like without giving it context.
I'm about to. I wasn't even done saying finish my statement, Eddie.
And then let's tie it in. Let's tie it into how you show up in the culture and the community, because I think that's what Eddie just kind of broke down. Go ahead, Asia.
So those are two different topics. So if I'm going to go along the same vein in my initial statement, is it's the mentality, I'll go along that vein. But if you want to talk about how we show up in the community, that's a different question. So which way you want me to go?
I don't care.
Okay. So I think I'll go with my statement. Then it's a mentality. And so if you ever heard of the term poor white trash, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is basically a nigga mentality, but it's for white people, right? We're juxtaposing the white and the black, right? And so it's a mentality it's a poverty mentality. And so it's not just isolated to black and brown communities. There are poor white trash. I grew up around them when I was living in Erie, Pennsylvania. And so when they wanted to act a certain way, they felt they wanted to be down, they would come hang with us and be in our community because they felt more at home and more relational and related, because they felt that was the way of life and that was a cool thing to do. But then they code switched when they went back home and showed up in their community, how they were raised and bred to interact. And so it's a mentality. And so some of them grew up in the prestigious white neighborhoods, and they grew up when they got outside their parents' house, they came and lived in the quote unquote ghettos because they were relational with that mentality of trash everywhere, cussing out people, cussing your kids out, cussing adults out, and being totally disrespectful to yourself and to others. And so it's a mentality, and it's across all races, because you also have Asians that also that what I hate using this word, but I'm just trying to get a point across. I'm trying to move it, but it's ghetto, the nigga mentality. It's across races.
So it's us. So everybody ignorant, they got a nigga mentality.
No, that is not what I'm saying. That is not what I'm saying. I said
that's what I heard, Ham.
Yeah, you heard, right?
No, I'm making it relational.
Wow.
You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
That is not what I'm saying. I just sat there and said poor white trash, trailer parks.
So you're
saying, I said, because Eddie was saying nigga mentality. Eddie was saying nigga mentality. It's a bunch of black people. I'm like, no, they got that, I guess, nigga mentality too, but it's called poor white trash. It's called.
What about the Asians though? You didn't have a name, so you said you went back to nigga.
Because you cut me off. I was sitting there trying to make y'all understand my point I was trying to come across. And they have Asians that act ghetto too, that sit there and feel that they want to be a part of this culture to where they don't care, and it's cool to be lazy and it's cool to be disrespectful. I don't know what they're called. I didn't go up and learn a lot of Asians. The poor white trash was very well known. The niggas was very well known. The ghetto Puerto Ricans was very well known in Erie. The Asians wouldn't lie to them. So I don't know. But I do know they have gangs, they have mafias, they have the thugs, street thugs that sit there and rob people, that sit there and do little petty crimes.
What's it tying to though? How do you show? So what does this all mean?
I don't understand your question. I'm sorry.
What are you saying? So yeah, everybody has hood mentality.
Thank you. That's the word. Hood
right?
Yes.
But okay, so what does that mean in correlation to how you show up in the culture?
That's a different question. And so what culture are you talking about? That's a different question.
Asia, he been done asked the question though. You ain't answered.
Yeah.
He told me to go down which vein? Go down this vein, go down that vein.
Because you said culture / community. I'm you talking about that, and then you just telling us that everybody got poor people who act foolish. Yeah.
That's what Eddie was saying. I asked y'all which one you want me to answer. Eddie was saying, or the other one. Don't do that. When you rewind the tape, y'all see what I was talking about, because I actually asked you. You said,
"Well, another detox."
All right, yeah, that detox, boy. God damn. All right, what's up? Q&A. What y'all think?
How you show up in your culture, your community. I think where you were trying to go with that video is to show that this guy is not going to be any different on that interview than what he would be in his community or his culture. Am I correct?
And he does a lot in his community.
Yeah.
And
I'll
he
say
said,
correct to a degree, not to cut you off, but that motherfucker's very intelligent.
"Oh yeah, he's mad smart."
Like
And
he spends his time in a lot of political halls and a lot of town halls and like really discussing a lot of community stuff. But yeah, it's very interesting. It's a caricature that he does, but the motherfucker's intelligent.
yeah,
That's why he's able to trigger people the way he does.
well,
Yeah, but I don't think that we should discount the fact that he's intelligent because he was talking however he was talking in the interview. Like, that ain't got shit to do with him being intelligent or not, you know. But as far as, you know, him speaking very freely and sounding like a black man in his speak or in his speech and the way that he was articulating himself, I think that we're all going to naturally be that way in our culture. I know I am in my community. Like when I'm around my people, I talk like I'm around my people. If I'm in a, as we were saying earlier, professional setting, and I have to be concerned with the environment that I'm in at that time, keeping in mind everybody may not understand. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you speak a different language, right? When you're speaking to somebody, I should say, who speaks a different language, you're probably going to slow down your speech or over enunciate if you're considerate of that. Or you can choose to speak the way that you speak amongst your people and completely lose the person. So I think it's more about self, like awareness, as it is anything else. Like I don't think that that's necessarily code switching.
well,
In
so
a negative light.
yeah. Well, so I think the point of the video is he was addressing our community, and he was speaking down upon some stuff that people normally don't speak down upon, like a Mike Brown situation, Trayvon Martin, things of that nature, right? Speaking about Black Lives Matter, right? Who overwhelmingly from the results hasn't done much for us in terms of the organization. So he was speaking out against these things, and he actually in real life does something about it, right? But he was addressing our community and how it's some shit. So now we're saying, you see what he did, and you see I'm telling you, he puts action to it based on what I know. How do you show up in your culture? How do you
So
show
you're
up?
saying that there should be less people like how people are viewing Deion Sanders right now, or how maybe some people view Shannon Sharp, and more people like a Dr. Umar.
No, I don't follow Dr. Umar. So no, but
people do.
in terms of people actually trying to make an impact, like his school that's supposed to be in Delaware, I'm gonna ride by there and see if it's really a building.
So you're saying
That's
don't talk about it, be about
said,
it? Is that kind of?
But that's what he said recently in an interview. So I'm just going off of that they actually did raise a sufficient amount of funds that were not inclusive of anyone who was Caucasian, and the school is up. So he's somebody who not only talked the talk, but put the shit into action that he talks about.
The buildings were already there. He also did have to use white contractors, right? And he needed discounts for everything. So I don't know if he got any money from the Cash App from white people. I don't know how he would control that, but he did use white contractors at the end of the day.
Hey, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't knock him necessarily. I don't want to be stuck on him, but it is somebody to me who has said stuff with regards to the community, and then who you've seen evidence of him being involved within the community doing certain things. So to that point, that's all I'm trying to say is people feel like Deion switched up. You know, he started off with Jackson and then he went over to this other college and he left the niggas behind and, you know, code switched, if you want to say whatever. So it sounds like what the implication is that there should be less people doing the code switching because it is offensive to our culture, and more people that are, like Miss Nate just said, walking the walk and talking the talk.
I'm not really talking about code switching though right now. I'm just talking about like for instance, I should have capitalized that bitch. YOU is talking about the niggas on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you show up in your community? How do you show up in your culture? So me, I've fallen off a little bit because of all these kids. But with 100 Black Men of America, I coach high school football. I woke a lot of people up to the truth, right? I used to have a lot more conversations, you know, so on and so forth. So like pouring into it, you know what I mean? Because we talking about Umar, we talking about Dion, right? What the fuck are we doing? And I just wanted to show you Charleston White, who talk that shit, call niggas out, and then be outside.
So you're asking what we specifically do.
I mean, it's fine to give a general answer, but you know, we gotta come on, we gotta connect with
I'm
the people.
gonna speak for me though. I think I show up in my culture, in my community as Shanae. Shanae is very multifaceted. So a lot of y'all know that I'm elected. I do planning and zoning. I go up there with my Black girls, rock, earrings. I don't care. And I wear my hat. This is how I wore this is what I wore today. And I will speak. Yes, I have a New York accent. I don't try to fix my accent to accommodate them. I'm going to read it with my accent. I say New York. I say New York. I say New York. That is how and I'm the secretary, which means I read things into the agenda. So I'm my authentic self. You elected me knowing it's how I am. You're going to see me on Facebook, turning up. That's how I am. I'm not going to be any different. I've been at political events and I'll have a glass of wine. I might have a beer. I'm going to be the same way. I think for me and my community, I'm going to be authentic because how I am in real life is how I'm going to portray on social media. I'm very transparent. And what's been my whole thing I've been saying this whole podcast that I've been on, at least you honest. I'm going to be honest with myself and be transparent. That's how I show up in the community.
That's cool. Alex, you about to say something?
No, I think I'm just thinking about the question and wondering how I'd be perceived by the culture and the communities, particularly the ones that I'm surrounded by and the ones that I work with. Because we can all have these perceptions of ourselves and like, this is what we give, this is what I do. But I think something that I think about myself is as a Black woman, as someone who is in the nonprofit spectrum and all these other things, how am I perceived in my culture and in my community? I know for me, I try to make sure that I'm always, when it comes to the medical field and my personal experience with my mother, who all my life, you know, she's been in and out of the hospital, been sick. I always like to show up as an advocate. That's for me, right? So I want to be an advocate in the workspace, out of the workspace, when I'm doing my youth work, when I'm dealing with patients, when I'm trying to get people on. The first thing I let them know is, this organization, we're Black and brown here. But my number one priority is our Black patients. That's just me personally. But I am curious to know how we think we're perceived in the community.
I know I'm perceived as an educated Black woman.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Adrian, how are you perceived in the community?
I don't know, yo. Nah, I think.
Wow.
Seriously. So that's a good question, right? When I first graduated, it was like people thought, oh, Black man masters, you got to work with boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I automatically got pushed to kind of work with young Black men, right? And I got tired of it, honestly, after a while, and I preferred to work with men like already grown and couples, because when I tried to work with the like teenage boys, adolescents boys, their moms never wanted to do nothing, right? And they like, fix my child. Like, you gotta fix him. And my thing is like, no, nigga, it's you. You as the parent, like, you're the problem. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when I'm like, nah, I'm doing couples and men. But lately I've been getting a lot of boys. And so I'm like, January, I think I might got to re-switch my focus, because it is a need. Like, it is a need. And they really like benefit from me rocking with them. So, and it's like, you know how we grew up here. It's always fellas. You know what I'm saying? So even being around them, like, I miss that, because like everybody up north, everybody in Connecticut, New York, DC. So it's like that's still filling a void for me too, especially all these damn daughters I got. And then and I also coach. I coach 3 and 4 year olds too. So I think I show up as a responsible Black man who handles all of his responsibilities always.
Could you do more? Yes or no?
Nope.
All right, cool.
Shit like that.
All these kids I got, nope. They gonna get what they get. That's it.
I just want to say, Adrian, you see the way you were speaking about it, you said it so passionately. That's how you're showing up. You're showing up as somebody that is passionate about what you do and you care. But you're yourself. Like even how you were speaking, you probably speak to them like that too. That's what I'm saying. I'm the same way. I'm not gonna switch.
Yeah, and they need it too. Like I said, I think before I wasn't in a position to really see it. It was just because it just got pushed on me, like I was expected to, do it. But now that I've been in the field for like 10 plus years, it's like, nah, like it's literally a need. And when I sit and talk and the things they open up to me about, that joint be crazy. So it's like, yeah, I got to stop running from it. So I think I'm going to switch gears and kind of go back to the teenage boys, man.
You are relatable. That's what makes you who you are. That's
how you are perceived. Parents, yo. But that's another thing too. I'm gonna be checking a lot of these single moms too, yo. Like, the kid goes, like, you gonna have to, if you not willing to do this and it's only gonna be so much I could do.
You should.
No point.
B, how you show up in the community?
Well, so one of the things that I do in my community is I help the elderly. I live next to 2 elderly people. One lady, the lady to my left, I'm always doing something for her 24/7, 365, whether it's taking her to her doctor's appointments, changing light bulbs, changing the cameras, doing grocery shopping for her. Actually, I got to take her to the doctor tomorrow. I'm always doing something for her. The lady to the right of me, I do a lot of the grocery shopping for her. As you know, where I live on my block, it's mainly a bunch of elderly people. So I don't have that exposure to a lot of the youth. Now you also know where I live at. I walk past McDonald's and I'm not gonna say a lot, but there are some homeless people. Sometimes I buy them a meal. Sometimes they'll ask me for a meal. I buy them a sandwich, whatever. Also every second or third Saturday, whatever Saturday this is, if it's y'all all right?
We listen to you.
Everybody was laughing.
Asia don't buy food.
No, they laughing at me about that potato salad. That's why we laughing.
Oh yeah, you could have brought that lady potato salad.
That's a different story for a different day.
You're right, but you brought it up. So, but anyway, every second Saturday of the month, I feed the homeless at McPherson Square. So I feel like I give back to the community a lot. So to answer your next question, do I think I give back more? Hell no. No, I ain't waking up no more early Saturday mornings. This neighbor to the left of me, she running me crazy. The neighbor to the right, she about to run me crazy. This all I got. So yeah.
Just keep giving, B.
So and I just want to know. So the 2 elderly people next door, a couple cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
And then the every third Saturday a month. We saying that's all we got. If it is, that's fine. But
I mean, that's all we got. And also based on what I do outside of that, if I were to do more, my time would be extremely limited. I mean, but I feel like what I do, yeah, it's more than enough. Yeah, I feel like
you show up in the.
Who said it's more than enough though?
Huh?
I said you show up in your community by giving your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so all right. Well, let's keep going around before I ask some more pointed questions. Mary, this shit about to be shaky, man. Go ahead.
What? Why is it about to be shaky?
Go ahead. What you do? How you show up in the community, man?
Raising decent children. Like
your own children or like the village children?
My own children. My own children. That's all I got. That's all I got for y'all. Like making sure that my kids make it out this world, boy, and they do the right thing. You know, maybe they could give more to the community, but just making sure that I'm raising them right. I feel like right now that's the best thing I can do for the community.
So basically it's home and work and that's it.
That's a lot though.
I know. I'm just saying.
My husband owns a business.
To your community.
So I do a lot, but I feel like it's for the general population. I wouldn't say my community, but yeah.
But you're raising children that will be citizens in this community and doing things. So yes,
they would make a change in the world that I couldn't.
Man,
yeah, I guess I'm in that same boat. Like, I don't do a fucking thing for my community if I had to really think about it.
You make everybody laugh,
but you just said it. Everybody.
I'm so fed up with this motherfucking community, boy.
Yeah, it's not limited to the community. I can't really think of anything that I do for my community or my culture. or the culture, I guess I should say.
Yeah. Okay. Jesus Christ. Come on, Asia.
So for my communities, I navigate different communities, but for my communities, I show. Why are you laughing?
I ain't lying. I'm trying to think. We ain't talking about everybody else that you like.
No. I'm talking about as a black woman.
Yeah, the people that belong to you.
Yeah, and as a black businesswoman, yes,
Okay.
I show up and two different things. As a black woman, I talk to black women about being their authentic selves, being the best version of themselves, and I model that. I talk to them about that because a lot of times black women, especially that may have come along the same road that I have, journey I have, there's a lot of toxicity within them, and so I talk to them about being free of that toxicity and being the best version of yourself. The other part of it is the business world and businesswomen, black businesswomen, because you want to have and provide this service and or product. How do you do that? How do you navigate the business world? How do you navigate entrepreneurial world? How do you navigate the government space and selling your products, selling your services? So I talk because I've been through it, and I give of myself and my knowledge to them and lend my services and my wealth of knowledge to them.
Okay. Alex.
Oh, I did mine already. Remember?
Oh, you did yours. Yeah, my bad.
His turn.
But he didn't do his, but he don't
Eddie.
get that.
Eddie.
Yeah, I was trying to allow Asia to say her aggressive sentence. Yeah, man, I've shown up in my community in different ways. Spent 12 years. 3 years in special needs class, working with kids who are on different spectrums. Volunteering often. Before I started, and I established my LLC, I did a lot of events, cooking wise, that were for free. So just having different conversations and setting up spaces where people can network, enjoy good food, drinks, what have you. And I've noticed people have gotten jobs connecting with other people. People have gotten together, relationships and whatnot. Outside of that, just mentorship. And I've coached a couple of basketball teams when I was working in school. So there's always a space where I feel that as a black man, if I'm amongst young black men, young black women, I just do my due diligence to drop some sort of a dime on their heart, on their mind, to leave them thinking about, what it is that they want to do with their futures, or tell them some real shit. If anything, how I show up by my community is some real ass shit, right? Like, I think what I present here on this podcast ain't too far off from how I am in the real world, right? So, like, I'll call a cracker if I need to. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of that code switching stuff, unfortunately, is wired into us. I find myself kind of lightening up the mood pending, how much whiteness is in the room. But I'm literally actively, consciously trying to stop doing that shit and just being myself no matter what. And even when I do somewhat lighten it up, these crackers are still intimidated, which is just like, I can't help but be big and black. Like, that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm showing up with my $100,000+ education. I suit up when I want to. And otherwise, it's like, when you show up, it is what it is, man. Like, also getting older.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Giving
Like
a fuck. Just like that.
Yeah. Got you. Jesus Christ. So I think I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't think we as a panel are doing enough.
I got 6 kids.
By whose definition? Your definition that we're not doing enough?
Yeah, I just feel like a lot of this stuff we had to like, well. So here's what I do and da. I don't know. I just feel like it's not as substantive as it should be.
So
like
how should we the culture then?
I feed 150 people a week for low income housing projects at different locations.
So that's what boggles me.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't said until I said, "What the fuck are we doing?" But then you was talking about,
I did.
I taught the
You
kids
just
on the
didn't get
corner.
wild specific, and I know I'd be long-winded, so I try to cut myself
Yeah,
short.
but talking to kids on the corner because you bump into them at the gas station, that shit go one end out the other, and you know it by our environments.
Now I said at schools though, bro. Like I see these kids every day.
Before, see, it's about the last game. It ain't about the games we played. So how much are we really doing the impact? Because our people going up or down.
That's why I'm in policy. I do politics intentionally.
And shout out to the nonprofit team.
And I do that too. That's my regular job, nonprofit.
You're right, Alex. You're right. The age rate going up. But yeah, y'all keep on
I
handing
do
out
workforce
needles.
development and housing.
I want to know him what your
Name might be qualified.
Y'all,
Name
just
might-
be clear that y'all don't have a Shannon Sharp moment right now based on what Hamp is saying. If you know you do fuck enough, then own your shit.
I want to know.
We're giving him facts, so we're giving him facts of what we do instead of getting all emotional about it. We just giving him facts.
Don't get caught up. If you feel like you're doing enough,
I feel like a large part of this community don't want to be helped, though.
See,
Like they're not helping themselves.
Here we go. We start copping. We start telling, well, these niggas don't want no help, so we ain't gonna help them. Nah, that ain't
you
how
still
it
They
works.
don't want to help themselves. Everybody, a large part of this community feel like everything got to be handed to them. It don't. You got to
speaking about two different
reach your hand out halfway.
I don't know
yeah,
what
y'all
she
speaking
talking
about two different types of people because you could say that you still help, but the people that you're helping want the help that you're giving. She's talking about a group of people who don't want the help, whether it's being extended by you, Alex, A-Love, A+, or anybody else. They don't want it.
I'm just saying that I think that's a cop out for us because we ran into a couple people that didn't want no help.
Truth? So you don't feel like it's the truth, like all.
But
this,
if you're pouring into an empty cup, that's a waste of time.
and all that.
Like, keep it a buck.
What I'm saying,
like that goes to people just not being fucking.
I'm just saying I think that's a cop out. I think it's a cop out statement that say people don't want help, so I ain't helping.
If she knows the specific people that don't want the help, but she ain't helping them.
Yeah, but it's only 3 or 4 people she knows.
But what I'm saying is along the lines of you feeling like we're not doing enough. At the same time, people just talking for no fucking reason. Because then you got to make sure you talking to the right group of people, and it's a large part of the community that don't give a fuck about what.
How do you know? How do you know unless you try?
If I can help 10 people, I don't care about the other 3 that don't want the help.
What about one?
I don't care.
What about Nate?
But
What if
it's
you
the
can help
other
one?
3 that everybody talking about. The people that don't want the help, the people that are not making the effort. Those are the only ones that nobody's talking about the ones that have successfully got up and out the shit that they've been in. We're talking about the ones that's being talked about is the ones that's staying on government assistance, the motherfuckers that's on Section 8, the motherfuckers that's cutting their hours every time Section 8 come around so they rent could stay low.
So that's why you make policies so that they can't have that happen. That's why I sit in policy stuff.
So do y'all think that y'all are good examples for your culture and community? Like
I
am.
Good. That's a
would
good.
you want to?
That's good. That's a
Would
good.
would you want to look up to someone like yourself?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yes, I would.
If you knew my story, absolutely.
Because of my story.
So we're showing up in our culture and our community as examples, right?
Yes.
We want to be a good example for the people underneath us who are coming up, who are trying to be better. So that's how we essentially all show up in our culture and community.
Absolutely.
Okay. And Alex, are you saying that's enough?
For some people, it is.
It is enough. The answer is yes. My answer is yes.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
I have to lead by example, and I can't say and want these things, and then I'm not living that life, right?
Yep.
I have to lead by the example that I want to see. I can't be telling the other Black women when they come into the workspace or the Howard students that we have coming into the medical program. I can say, listen, as a Black woman in the healthcare field, here is how you need to be. I need to be the example for what I have to lead with example.
Yep.
Practice what I'm preaching to them. I'm sure Eddie, as a teacher, when he was working with students, he wanted to be the example. Like, I'm not going to tell you that I wouldn't do, or if I'm telling you so that you don't make the same mistake as I am. I am the standard.
Okay. So existing, like so you say, once you become successful, you exist in that. That should have you think that has a big enough impact?
I think it does.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I did that with my employees too, man. I've managed 10 people, 15 people, and like I would have some serious ass conversations. I see some ghetto ass shit. This is not happening with any other administrator, at least from what I understand and what I've seen. It's like, yo, we pull you to the side, like, hey, bruh, this shit right here that I saw you do, don't do that shit again.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bring it up on your evaluation, none of that. Like, pay attention to how I'm speaking to you. On some brother shit, on some shit like, hey sis, yo, that shit, nah. Don't do that shit again. And then
So
it's right back to like, I'll see
that's
you at the
more
meeting.
active though. That's more
Huh?
active than just being a example. You're doing something.
But
Yeah,
are y'all really concerned with being an example or being your authentic self?
That's me being an authentic self.
But you can inspire people not even know that.
And that's the thing.
So
like,
again, it goes back to my question. Are you more concerned with being an example or being your authentic self? Like when you wake up every day, is your thought, I'm going to be an example today, so I have to watch everything that I do, say, how I move? Or are you just being your authentic self, and in that, you're indirectly...
I would say my authentic self for me.
I feel like a lot of that does fall into your authentic self, because when I was doing casework in a group home, I worked with girls from the ages of 9 to 18 that got placed in group homes due to abuse, things like that. So I had to, build cases for them and stuff like that. Now, a lot of times I told them, like, based off my own experience, like, I'm big on speaking because it's something I went through. If I never went through it or I didn't experience it, I'm not going to speak on it. So a lot of it came from teaching these girls and showing these girls, like, hey, like, listen, like, I've been where you're at. I understand exactly what you're feeling and what you're doing, but this is how you can choose to go about it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't me intentionally just trying to be somebody for somebody else. It was me being myself and trying to get somebody else to understand, listen, it can go left or right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just me being me, because I know what that dark place is. So trying to help somebody else out that dark place that you're very aware of, that's what I feel like is the bigger picture. And I feel like that's just,
So you willing to do that?
Else's.
You willing to do that? Yes, you willing to do that for people? Or if they listen, they listen. If they don't, they don't. Like, are you pulling people out of a dark place? Or are you telling them this is how you get out of a dark place?
It can be, it can be either. It depends on how they're perceiving it.
Talking about you.
What do you mean? Would I pull somebody out of a dark place?
Yeah, now like Q be saying, all this shit is recorded. We've done a lot of episodes. So Q taught me that. So are you willing to pull somebody out that motherfucker? Or are you just gonna tell them, hey, this is how you get out? You can choose if you want.
I feel like it depends on the situation. It depends on the situation and the person.
You see, I got a new button, right?
You
hold on.
You want answers. I want the truth. You want answers. I want the truth. You want answers. I want the truth.
Yeah.
I feel
sometimes,
like
though, it is better to show.
I feel like
than to tell
naturally,
somebody. Yeah.
but I feel like naturally, who's pulling in information the way they should,
No,
and
you don't.
know who's letting
No, you
it go
don't.
in one ear and out the other.
No, you don't.
I feel like you do. I feel like you do.
You
Some
can't.
people are
But it
like,
depends on if you have the relationship with somebody, then you're able to speak to them that way.
thank you.
But
Yes.
everyone else,
Yeah.
everyone else, you're gonna
Nate
show
took
them.
the
like,
words out of my mouth.
Yes, so
Yeah,
like
Nate's
you
right.
said, you've been in. Well, I don't know. You said something about foster care or whatever, but you said that you had that type of experience. So by you showing, okay, I went from this to that, then they're like, oh wow, I can look at that, because that's similar to my story. That's how I do. Now I don't go out to somebody and say, this is what you have to do. It depends on my relationship with that person that I can speak to them and talk to them, and maybe they'll
That's
hear
all
it.
about if you care. That's just in general. If you care,
But there's this too, Mary.
I was
I'll
doing
add to
that
your
work,
point.
I cared. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna want you to hear what I'm saying because I care. Because right now,
But they may not want to hear. To your
But-
point, they may not want to hear.
it depends on who you're talking to, because right now you're 14 years old and you're trying to fight me. I will beat your ass. But because I care, we're gonna go about this differently. And I'm gonna let you know from my own personal experience about things that I've been through, about why we're here right now and what we can do to change it.
You want to talk to my 14-year-old Mary? Any one of y'all? Because listen,
I'll talk to him.
listen.
I'll talk to him, Nate.
Yeah, let B talk to him. I
Nah,
think
but
we
that's
in
real.
trouble, man. I don't know.
I think there's a lot of chameleons, right? So I think in regards to Mary and Nate, like, y'all make good points and your heart is in the right place. But I think a lot of motherfuckers I work with are profound chameleons. Some kids get it. Some grown people in regards to management get it. But some people are just chameleons and they just don't give a shit. Some people are just wired to be ain't shit. And I think Hamp is making that point as well with the questions. It's just like, yo, some motherfuckers do not give a shit how much help they get. It's just like, I am designed to be an ain't shit nigga, and that's what I'm going to be.
But like I said, like I feel like you can tell who those type of people are sometimes. Like you can tell.
Nah, some people are
That's
chameleons,
trauma. They
Mary.
need A plus. That they need some therapy.
I feel like you know who you wasting your breath to.
Yeah, I agree with Mary because she's using a key word in there. She's saying sometimes, and y'all already talking over her and dismissing that part. So she's not speaking in absolutes.
Sometimes it's bullshit.
But it's factual.
Yeah, ain't nobody asked you to say no dumb shit like that. Listen, she said sometimes.
Sometimes it's bullshit. That's all I'm saying. Like you can say sometimes about anything. That's why I hate when we use that.
But it's
yeah, but then that's
because it's not always and it's not never.
But what I'm saying is sometimes it's such an easy answer to give.
But it's still not an easy answer when you elaborate.
So what she's speaking to, that's so accurate.
But I do say that like some people accept it and some people they don't. So for some people it's a relational thing. If you have the relationship with them, you can say it. If you don't necessarily, you show by example, and they take whatever they want.
But
Nay, that's not the same answer.
Times when you can tell that you're pouring into somebody who don't give a fuck, and there are times where you may not be able to identify it.
But they need healing.
That's
which
what
is
Nate.
The same thing that Eddie said, which is the same thing that you said. Y'all just cutting her off and not letting her land.
I didn't say that.
Y'all all saying the same shit.
I ain't say that shit.
I ain't say that. More saying. You say that, saying.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong, man. Maybe I guess sometimes it's okay. Like as long as we do a little bit.
Sometimes you're wrong, Camping. That's okay.
Oh, I'm probably wrong. I'm probably wrong a lot. But
hit it. No.
Why? I'm not saying up here. I'm saying in life. Up here, this shit is easy. But,
do this sound again, Nate?
The fuck type of old gun you got?
In the bathroom.
He like fucking Marvin the Martian. Yeah, I don't know, man. I gotta ponder it more, man, because I just feel like everybody up here has too much to give, and I feel like we could be doing a bit more. I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying?
But what if we're waiting?
I only hired 50 people this year. You know what I'm saying? But
I just want to know what you feel. What more should be done? Because
that was the first
30
question
minutes
I
ago, and I still didn't get that answered yet. Like,
Say
what
what now?
do you think we
Asia
should?
was the first thing I asked. What
Be
do you define as too much or not enough?
He's
Not
speaking
enough?
facts. It's just y'all can't run into no Shannon Sharp space. Don't let that shit get you worked up when you're taking your glasses off.
I want an answer though. I really want an answer, not esoteric.
I'm about to give like me and Adrian's excuse with the kids.
Excuse? Everybody can have an excuse.
All right, nigga, I got 4
You
minutes too.
You said you've been waiting on this
Yeah,
answer.
my mom.
Huh?
You gotta let them land.
All I'm saying is,
Let them land. Let them land.
Q, can you please tell him to let me land, Q?
Y'all gotta let him land.
That's the sound here.
I hit the sound. That's not the sound you made, Nay. Your sound was more like
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
So I think that Adrian and I, the kids is easy. People accept that when you say that, right? You got the kids, but I don't know. Is there 10 minutes? Is there 20 minutes? Is there something? Because these little black boys out here, they need to hear Adrian, even if he's not getting paid for it. That's all I'm saying. Like, I know for a fact, every single kid I coached directly, like when I first brought them up from 9th grade to 12th grade, they all play college football. They all undersized. They shouldn't have got scholarships. They all got scholarships. If I was coaching Flowers this year, we probably would have beat Quince Orchard because I know how much I have to give. They made it to the chip though, right? But it's just one level. And I'm just using that as a tangible example. There's an old motherfucker to the left of B and an old motherfucker to the right of B. And there's an old motherfucker across the street and an old motherfucker 45-degree angle. But the only ones that's getting it are the ones right here. So all I'm saying is, can B walk across the street? That's all I'm saying. Can he go to the food bank on the 2nd and the 3rd week of the month? That's all I'm saying. There's kids out here that's living in piss and shit, and they see married kids every day, right? How do we get in touch with those kids that don't have a pot to piss in our window to throw it out of? You can do it through your kids. Ain't no telling who don't have lunch at school, right? Who asking for your milk off your tray? shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Shit like that.
that's all I'm saying. Asia said what she do for these women. Is it formal? Maybe, right? But a lot of it may be touch and go. So can we galvanize the troops and bring them here and put them on the podcast? Then she could do that shit with them, and then she could reach. We get what 1,000 views a video, right? Know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. Now I could keep going. I mean, I don't know what Alex gonna do about the AIDS rate because that whatever she doing ain't fucking working.
That's not all I do. Thank you very much.
Niggas getting their ass, boy. You know what I'm saying? I know Eddie switched gears in terms of his work, but the nigga still got the same degrees. So why don't we work together in nonprofit that we Qs? He could create his own shit. You know what I'm saying? And Q in terms of that, I mean, I think the talent you have, that could be limitless. Right? But we taking time only for ourselves. Right? Because it's hard as shit to stand up in front of people and make them laugh. That could be a fucking class. Improv. Anything.
Marcus Gardner said you can't save all these niggas.
Hey, whatever. Whatever. See how niggas just jump in with some book. You know what?
Shit like that. Shit like that.
Listen, I was listening. Keep talking to me. Fuck Eddie. What you know? Come on.
I'm just saying, right? Improv, like, cause I'm thinking about all these goddamn kids. I'm thinking about coming back home. Shit, we can work together on doing something for the hood. Like, you know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. So if I'm bugging, I'm bugging.
Nah, you talking facts. That's community organizer right there, Ham.
Thank you, Ham. Thank you.
Hey, no
That's you need to build
shit like that. Shit like that.
Somebody said something profound on this joint.
I told you I'd be taking it easy on y'all. You know what I mean? Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Yo, I appreciate y'all hanging in there with us. As you can see, we have extended the show a little bit. All my niggas be looking tired except for Q, but I'll take it. You know what I mean? Mary, them braids still looking all right.
Niggas say I look tired though. Hold up. You say everybody look tired, but Q. What'd you say?
I got my eyes from my daddy's side.
You know, yeah. You know how when you drink that fucking cocktail, your eyes get low, shit like that.
No, I'm looking at the way my screen is, nigga. Don't say I look tired. I'm very wide awake. I'm detoxed and refreshed.
She's woke.
How many fingers I got up?
How many fingers I got up? What's the next topic?
Golly, man.
Motivate y'all.
This is a tough crowd. All right, Eddie, be safe, man.
All right, y'all.
We gonna start putting Eddie on once a month, man.
I appreciate the topic though.
Word. All right, let's get this one real quick. Alex, you good, right?
Should be hanging on by a thread.
That nigga, man. Easiest fucking job in the world, man.
Yeah, I give back in many ways. Okay, stop playing.
All right, I can see it, right?
Ooh.
Yes.
I counsel a lot of people who are disappointed and disillusioned because the person who they married or who they gave their heart to turns out to not be who they thought they were. And the truth is, in most scenarios, it's because they fell in love with their representative. Because when you date someone, you're going to always first meet their representative. They're going to put forth their best effort, their best image, their best self, which is why my philosophy is date someone for an entire 4 seasons because you want to see how they respond to each of the 4 seasons. You want to be sober when you give your covenant to someone and not fall in love with the representative.
Oh. She got the Holy Ghost.
I hate his voice. Oh my gosh, just whispering.
That's the one.
I like what he had to say.
That's the one.
Take a step further. Don't fall in love with their potential.
So, you know, that's always a hot thing, right? Like when you meet somebody, you don't know if they're their authentic self. don't know if you guys ever heard of a gentleman named Anton Daniels, but his concept is don't date, period. Don't date. Get in circles with people of like mind and like ilk and be around them and watch them operate. And then once you watch them operate for a significant amount of time, you know how they respond to different things. And then so when you get with them, right, as a friend already, now that dating period is pretty much, you've already kind of authenticated them. And so obviously you probably got to go out on dates and shit like that, but don't date as a concept because you should be around people that you probably want to be with. So how do you show up in dating and in relationships? Let me start with B.
Oh wow! How's it going, good people? So me, I can
Bruh.
I'm already stressed.
Braxton.
Go ahead.
Me, I can truthfully say, and it has come back to bite me. But I'm me in relationships. When a lady first meet me, what she sees is what she's gonna get throughout the duration of the relationship. But it has come back to bite me because I can be such a rambunctious person and such a passionate person. I can admit it does turn some women away. But I can also say if you initially saw me and it turned you away and it saved you time and it saved me time and energy, then it is what it is. I don't believe in faking it until you make it in a relationship. I just believe in just being you. I've also gotten to the point now, because I have said a lot of controversial things on the podcast, that there's some women I'll be like, hey, listen, I'm on this show. Here's some of the things I've said. Blah, blah, blah. This is me. I mean, hey, listen, I can only not be me, but for so long. So you eventually going to find out the real me. I'm too rambunctious. I'm too passionate. Okay, so I might as well just lay out all my cards out on the table. Look, this one credit score, this, that, this. Listen, let's get it on out the way. Save my time, save your straight to the point. I'm direct. I ain't got time to waste. Listen, what you see is what you get. I mean, hey.
If they watch the show, they're gonna see how you are.
Lord have mercy. They watch the show. I mean, yeah.
Okay. So B, you say you give them everything you got right off the rip.
Everything I got. And I also tell them too, Hell, about the coochie credit. We out here dating, you drop them draws eventually. Fuck that. I ain't listen. Listen, this ain't no circus. Y'all ever gone to a circus? See, y'all ever went to a circus today? Y'all saw the goddamn lion and the tiger, they jumping through the hoops and all this. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Bitch, do you date men that you aren't sexually attracted to? Let me know. I ain't watching songs with goddamn bitch. Bitch, you gonna sit back and date. Bitch, you give them goddamn jaws. What the hell wrong with the goddamn bitch? What the hell wrong with that?
Yo, B, hold on.
You be going off.
Rein them in.
Hold on, B. So you said you tell them, yo, you not about to build up coochie credit on me?
You goddamn right, coochie credit. Do you know? Glad you said that, Hampton. Let me land, brother. Do you know that a study was done about 2 or 3 months ago in all various cities, San Francisco, DC, New York, woo, about the average cost of a date.
It was like $100, right?
And in DC, it was over $100. I forgot the exact number. But you eventually realize that adds up. If I take a woman out on a date, 3 goddamn dates, and y'all know I want to get drunk, that shit gonna come up to over $100 goddamn dollars. You think I'm sitting back and date a woman sit across the table just to look at you? You think I'm gonna try to tap that ass? What the fuck you think going on, bitch? You build up coochie credit. Because Hampton, I tell you what, if it's a female, they'll pay every damn time. They'll split the cost of the Uber, the Cosmos, the mojitos. If they went to the corner store, they'll split the cost of the goddamn ginger ale. When it comes down to a man, you want to get by off of coochie credit. Fuck that bullshit, bitch.
Well, all right, let me ask you a question. Do you have some, because you just had a date, right?
She different. She an attorney. I gotta find a little bit hard. Or a lawyer, one of them. I don't know.
You expecting her to pay for everything then, B? So she an attorney? You expecting her to pay for everything because she got points?
No. I would never want a woman to pay for everything. No. But I do feel like No, for real, seriously. I wouldn't want a woman to pay for everything. But I do feel like we are in that talking stage. Yeah, sometimes you got to come out your pocket
You
as a
want some
woman.
balance?
Yeah, you
So
got
let me
damn
ask
right
you.
to balance.
So when you show up in dating, B, you cool with a woman making more bread than you?
Yeah, why not? You make more money than me. Okay, cool.
Cool. And
Because
then
my
you
thing is, let's put our money together. I invest, you make more. I'm gonna teach you.
Come on, B. Come on.
Yeah, she make more money. Yeah.
cool. Are you saying that? So initially you'll pay, but then you expect to go Dutch, or you expect her to
So
offer?
my thing is this: I have a rule. I'm going to pay for 1 or 2 dates initially. Okay, we got to be a gentleman. We can't just come right out the back be like, okay, you pay for the first day, whatever. Okay, got to be a gentleman. But I do believe eventually, yes, as a woman, goddamn, I can't get a drink out the deal, bitch. What the fuck? A drink? I done paid for 3, 4 goddamn dates, all this that bullshit. I can't get a goddamn Long Island iced tea. What the fuck is going on? But you have to be careful because women will use you. Women will use you. You goddamn right. Hell, what you said? You paid for some tacos and you trying to get some ass. You goddamn right. Hell, I took the bitch. I want to pay for some goddamn fries. You goddamn right, bitch. I'm trying to get some ass eventually.
Wait,
Shit.
when did I get tacos and not get no cheese?
But you didn't, honey. See, hold on, listen.
You can make
Did you
tacos.
say you bought some tacos?
I don't know. Probably, maybe.
You said you took your wife. Well, you said company credit card, so never mind. Yeah.
Oh, we talking about we went out on. I ain't try to get no cheeks though.
Oh well.
Yeah, I had to get her back.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you got her back at the company's expense. Okay.
Well,
Well.
I ain't text her ass back after I dropped her off back at work, and I ain't paid for it.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
All right, but that goes back to my point. You pay company credit card because women will use you, whatever. So strings attached, whatever. So
I never had that mindset, but I understand how that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. But also too, Hampton, you told me something that is very true. And it's funny what I'm about to say, but it is true. I have to fight a little bit harder. And even one day I came to you and told you that because I just don't have that type of charm that you have.
You a guru for real.
I'm the guru,
yes,
man.
For real.
All right. But that's what I learned. That's fine. I just got to fight a little bit harder.
There's just levels to everything. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even about me. Like even when Adrian was outside, that nigga could score. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of like you got to know where you fall and you got to play that game. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't play football. Everybody can't play basketball. But there's some game out there they probably are right at. You know what I'm saying? Alex. How do you... Huh?
I haven't dated in many, many years, so I don't necessarily know if this is appropriate for me.
Well, remember you was bullshitting, and then my brother put you in your place.
Okay. You're right. You are right. You are right. So back at that time.
Relationship too, though.
Yeah, but so comparing, contrasting, like at that time, very comforting, but reserved, and calculated, and I'm still like that now. But I think more so now in a relationship, comforting, still calculated, dramatic. Just, I don't know. That's a weird question. I don't know. Come back.
Do you cook?
Yeah.
You clean up?
Yeah. I would say nurturing.
If he asked you for a sandwich, would you go make it?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
That's all he
like
needs.
that.
The fuck else? Shit. He get cheeks when he want to.
For the most part, yes.
God damn. All right, mute your Alex. Alex, don't say nothing else. Let's just keep it there at a high note. You probably gonna fuck it up, start talking too much. But if he don't brush his teeth, shit like that, I don't got time for that. Asia, what you think?
Could you provide context because around this question, how do I show up in dating? I'm just trying to figure out because I want to make sure the question. Because the last time you said I didn't, even though I did, and then you clarified it. So, what's the question?
So I'm just saying, like, how do you show? So B gave a good example. He's single, right?
Okay.
We kind of could have went into Alex's, but more so in her relationship.
Right.
How is she showing up? So if you're on the market,
Mm-hmm.
how do you show up when dating?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for answering my question. So there's different levels to it because in the beginning, I'm still getting to know you. I know myself. I've learned myself, and I'm very honest with myself. And I can come off very strong at times. And so I know that I need to give it to them in doses because a lot of men, I said this before, they don't know how to handle a woman like me. And they say they want a woman like me, and they'll sit there and they'll flirt or they'll talk, they'll do these little things, but then when the hand go off the screen,
I'm sorry.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Asia, girl, come on, preach it, girl, preach it.
No. Stop. Can I ask you a question, Asia?
Nobody interrupted you.
But he got a question for you, Asia. He got a question for you.
Go ahead, B.
I've heard you say this on a few episodes, and I know I've been away for a while, but I try to go back and rewatch them. A woman like you, and a lot of men are intimidated by women like you. Now I'm gonna ask this question. I'm not trying to be funny, no shade, not trying to put you on blast.
Okay.
What is it about you that would make a man intimidated or man
assertive? Educated.
Hold on. A man ain't gonna want you because you and your feminine, your masculine energy just bring it down. So I'm asking Asia the question. Okay?
Shit like that.
So I mean, you keep saying that a lot. So I'm just trying to.
So as I've stated, and I don't want to go off on this tangent, but I will answer your question directly.
Yes.
As I stated before, a lot of men say that they want a woman like me, a woman who's intelligent, that's strong, has her own independent, whatever, who is not a gold digger, whatever. But a lot of stuff comes with that. And so, yes, I am, as Nate said, I am assertive, right? I know what I want. I am confident. I know who I am, and I know where I'm going. I have a set of requirements that aren't, physical. They're actual spiritual, emotional, and mental requirements that I want in my mate. And so that causes a man to reach and to behave in a certain way. So he has to reach higher. He has to pursue. He has to do certain things. And so that's when I sit there and say they want a woman like me, but they don't want to put the work in. They don't want to actually work for it. They want to sit there and just let it be handed to them. A lot of men nowadays want to be chased, to be very honest with you. And I'm not chasing a nigga. I'm not.
Because they operate in a feminine.
Not chasing a man. And a lot of them, show me that you want to be with me and pursue me. I'm not doing that. I'm not. So that's to answer your question. There are a lot of men don't know how to interact with a woman like me. Now, to go back to the original question, how do I show up? I show up and I have to give it in doses because I am assertive. And I, at times, because I'm trying to get to know who you are, because you can't, not you, but a man can answer a question and they don't know how to, they misstep and they feel like they're being interrogated, which they're not being interrogated. I want to get to know who you are. And a lot of men don't know how to communicate. And that's a problem for me.
Well, why would they feel like they're being interrogated?
Yeah, because you say that a lot.
I only said that one time, B. I never said interrogated till tonight.
No,
ever on this podcast.
Why? That's that. What
I said intimidated before. Now interrogation because I want to get to know who you are. So what are your likes? What are your dislikes? Where do you see yourself in the future? Or what would you do in a situation? Like just having conversation. I'm not saying all at one time. I'm not saying all in one setting. What I'm saying is if I'm asking you questions to get to know you, who you are, there'll be situational questions, scenarios, whatever, your past, your future, your present. I want to get to know who you are, and I'm going to do the same thing for you. So all I'm saying is, it's not because they don't want to open up. They're very wounded and they're very jaded and guarded and have their walls up. So when someone comes to try to talk to them, they don't know they want to keep their walls up. And so they don't know how to articulate and let things in or out, is all I'm saying. So you're taking stuff I don't want to take it. But
would you say that the man then is being a representative and you as a woman, because I know this was me, you're actually being your authentic self and you're showing them upfront who you are. And when you have to go and ask these questions to this man, they feel like they have to put on a representative because they don't know if you're going to handle it. I know. I'm gonna let you hold on. A. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. White's. Yes.
Mr.
So,
White.
Oh, he's
who are we dealing with right now? Are we A plus? Are we A?
Mr.
Or are we
White.
Mr. White? Anyway,
You got married and changed up.
but that's what it sounds like. Because as I'm listening to you, A Love, that was my problem. As you can see, what I did, I switched teams. But I'm not saying that's what you got to do. I'm just saying. But that was the same thing. So you feel like you're being your authentic self, and then you're asking these questions of these men, and because you're showing up, and they're not showing up, so they're putting on this front like, okay, so if she's asking me these questions, I'm going to answer according to what I think she wants to hear, and they're going to give you what you want to hear, and you're like, yeah, this is not really what I want.
Right, and that's a part of it. The other thing is that I also I'm an empath, right? And that goes along with a lot of other things as well. I also am an introvert, and so I refresh and rejuvenate being alone sometimes. If I'm around people for too long, I need to retreat. And so if you don't talk to me and ask me and question, then you sit there and get offended by that. And it's like, don't be offended. If you have a question, then ask. And I hate when people assume. Do not assume. That's a pet peeve of mine. Do not assume. Talk to me. So communication is key. And so I show up as my authentic self, saying I'm not perfect. I tell people that, men that I date, I'm not perfect. And they always like, you think you're perfect. I'm not. I don't seek perfection in you or myself, because it's never going to happen. That's too high of a bar, will never be attained. What I am saying is I expect authenticity. I expect communication. I expect integrity. Pam, you've been doing a lot of chuckling and kikiing.
No,
Him and Mr.
we
White.
want to help you.
Oh, here we go with this.
To use the word interrogate is counterintuitive to your goal. If men are telling you,
why do y'all take one word and sit there and harp
the
and
word,
jump on? Because that's they may feel interrogated. I'm trying communicating and talking, and so
the words matter though, Asia, right? Because it's a presentation of the questions, right? I learned that from you. Know words matter more than anybody. Now
I do.
The other thing
I've been knew that for about 4 decades. But go ahead.
Yeah, 40. You only 40. What the fuck? You was 3 years old? What the fuck you talking about? You didn't know words matter when you was 6. So, also, the men they're saying you think you perfect. I think we need to assess why they saying that.
Because
and also
I require. Go ahead.
Well, also, lastly, and I'm gonna let Adrian jump in.
Okay.
Lastly, damn, you fucking said something.
Turn on your notebook.
You saying like you ask these situational questions. If you want to get to know somebody, you should ask more general questions like about current events. People will give you their take on a current event. You can get a lot of insight into how they believe, their political views, so on and so forth. You ever say ask a person that has seen Charleston White, you'll get a view on them. But if you're saying like, what would you do? What's your 5-year plan? Niggas don't want to talk about that shit.
And so, yeah, and
I'll let Adrian give you some more game before you talk.
Adrian, you've been going mad times.
Yeah, I want to hear from Adrian for real.
You've been going mad times.
Y'all do this. Y'all sit there and y'all just harp on it. And it's like,
no, I'm a harp on. I got 2 points.
You
so before I jump on the one Hemp was on, then I'll come to a different one. Right. So yeah, you and they, so you show up as your authentic self, and we don't. You just said you only give a portion of yourself. I got to give myself to somebody in doses.
Oh, yeah, not me.
I got to give you myself in doses, because if I give them to, so that's not your authentic self. That's only
is.
I didn't say that though.
I ain't even peep that.
You didn't even peep it, right?
No, I know she did say that.
Can you ask me if I can land Q? Can you ask me if I can let him tell him to let me land Q?
Nah, because you just said some bullshit.
But she did say that.
She said that. But if you listen, she never said I'm giving you bits and pieces of a representative. She said I'm giving you doses of my authentic self.
If I'm showing up and I'm giving you doses of me, I'm not giving you my full me. Therefore, the way that you start off now, or whatever much of me you're giving, it's starting to increase over time, right?
No, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. So when you show up, you're giving a person. Hold on. Hold on. Let me clarify my statement. Then I promise I'll listen, and then I want it back. So when she says, when I meet somebody, I have to give them me in doses. Did I not hear that? So does doses mean, does that increase over time? Do you show them more of yourself as time goes on?
Because that's what when you say doses, to me, that's what I feel like. So that means you start off one way and then it progresses. It's not the same.
Yeah.
So
You're
go
saying
ahead.
two different
Explain
things.
Explain to me.
But if
What
she's
does the
only giving
doses
a
mean?
dose, what is the rest of the dosage that she's giving? Is that somebody else? That's what that's so
Or
so
it's
that's
not her full, or
like,
it's not her full self. If I say I'm giving you a dose of me, I'm giving you 25% of me, right? Versus if I
That
give
is
you,
not what I'm saying.
But that's still
so
her.
explain it. So hold on. A love. Explain to me what you mean when you say I'm giving you a dose. I got to give myself to people in doses. Explain that to me, please.
Okay, because what I said right after that is because a lot of men think I'm too much. I can be very strong. My personality can be very strong. So therefore, I'm not coming out the gate real strong. So I have to give it in doses. You know, I don't want them to feel they're being interrogated. I don't want them to feel like that's still me. I'm not giving them a
so are you not
Are
being
these
not
niggas
being
is full of
yourself?
shit. Don't
They're
let
trying
them
to find a fault. They're trying
I
to
get
find
what
I
I guess how she's explaining that. I see why they
Are
say
you
that.
not
Let
being
Mary go.
yourself? Are you not
You,
being
you see
yourself?
me? You see what I'm saying,
You
Nate?
feel
Hold on.
like-
You see what I'm saying, though, right, Nate?
Let Mary go.
Yeah, I kind of see what she's.
Because
I do.
We talked on the last on a podcast ago about in regards to watering yourself down, and that's something that you would not do. You giving a dose to somebody because of something they can't handle, that you watering yourself down. You get what I'm saying? So are you giving them who you are, or are you watering yourself down?
I am.
Okay, so let me know because everybody on here full of shit. Listen, let me ask y'all
Everybody
this:
gives
who the fuck on here got with the person that they're with absolutely not one insecurity, completely healed and completely whole?
Me. Let's talk about me.
All right, so you're the rarity. Who else?
So no, hold on. But in
Listen,
regards
you saw
to
all of me.
in regards to what Asia was saying, me personally, when you meet me, I'm a very nurturing and catering person. So I will do everything for you from head to toe. From the time that we're connecting, whether we're friends, like my husband, me and my husband started off as best friends. I was cooking for him, cleaning his place and doing all this shit that females would tell him before, I'm not doing that because I'm not your girl.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I did that too.
But I asked, but I'm not asking about the shit that you did for him.
But what
you
I'm
showed
saying,
up completely
that's
whole,
me.
completely healed. Listen
and
to what
I'm
I'm saying.
telling you.
Completely healed with not one insecurity.
Nobody
and no
can
trust
be-
issues, but none of that
but
shit.
nobody can
but it's a difference
so
between.
you get what the fuck where the fuck I'm going with this.
But it's a difference.
Who did that?
But it's a difference between an insecurity within yourself and an insecurity within relationships. Those are two different things. So again, when I got into my relationship because of who I am, I was already a nurturer, I was a caterer, and I was just somebody that just loved to care for people because I am genuine.
Okay,
Now,
those are characteristics though.
Okay, so if you were spicy, you say because I mean, you're not
that's
like
me.
spicy. Were you
But
spicy
that's
off
me.
rip? Like
But
right away?
yes,
Right
that's me. Anybody that I've been with can tell you that I was full force with exactly who
But
I am.
Mary, that's not what That's not what Q's saying, though.
That's not what I'm talking about.
No, it's kind of switching the subject a little bit,
It
but
sure
it's
is because
not.
I wasn't allowed to answer the freaking
You
question.
definitely
Y'all
switches
came at
it
me
up.
and was
That's
not
what
taking
you
nothing I
do.
said.
But
And I sit and I go back because I don't want to talk all over everybody. But it's like that.
Right,
Dang,
you-
let me say what I got to say.
Q, we only got a few
Okay,
minutes.
second,
Hold
I'm
that,
not
Q.
watering myself. No, because if I sit there and I just sat there and let people over talk and I was sit there and misconstrue my words and I purposely be quiet. I don't want us to sit there and have poor
Go ahead, Asia, go
audio
ahead.
quality.
You good?
Well, okay, so let me say this. I don't water myself down. I don't give an authentic piece of myself. I don't do any of that.
You just
Nigga.
said.
I ain't say nothing.
You just said. Let's go back to what you just said. You just said.
Let me finish. You have to let me
Let her
finish.
land. Let her land. Let her land. No,
Go
no
ahead.
sound effect, maybe. But
I said give myself in doses. Let me define what that means because y'all took it, didn't ask no questions. You assume. When I sit there and say, people assume. Don't assume what I meant by that. My definition of giving it in doses is this. I am not going to give you my all from the gate. I am not doing that because trust comes in levels for me. This is how I show up. Asia, Monique Dawson shows up. I show up in levels. I'm not giving you all of me from the gate. I am not. To me, that is wisdom. I am getting to know you. You are getting to know me. A part of that also is I can come off by I don't want to come off as being interrogative. That's why I don't come off. I give you endorsements. I ask you questions, and I do obviously ask about what you said, hot topics, whatever. I do all of those things. But you sit there and take one thing I say and jump all over. Like when you guys are asking hot topics, I ask scenario questions, I ask situational questions. I get to know the person every which way that I can. This is how I show up. Not about how y'all show. This is how I show up. I ask questions, different types of questions. I let you know my past. I let you know my present, let you know my future. I expect the same exact thing. The problem is when I ask questions, because their representative is there and they don't want to give the real, they get uncomfortable. So they don't want to answer those questions. They come off as saying, why are you interrogating me? Why you ask? I shouldn't say interrogation. Why you ask so many questions? We're getting to know each other. Not in the same setting, not in one sitting. It's over time. What don't y'all understand?
No, because what you said was how I come off to people or to men. This is why I only give a dose of me. That's what you said.
They come off too strong. Yes,
exactly. So that's why I gave the reference in regards to why are you watering yourself down if you're being authentically. If you are holding back at the regards of somebody else, that's what you're doing.
No, I'm not watering myself down.
I think from the beginning they
version of myself. I'm watering myself down. I'm not doing that.
I don't think it's watering yourself down, right? As you get to know a person, and you get more comfortable, a little bit of you get comfortable, you say little bit things like your guard is down, right? For example, I'm very dramatic. I'm very, very, very dramatic. I'm extra as all get out, right? But when you first meet me, like you may think, oh, she's quiet, she's whatever it is. But as I get comfortable, okay. Because I know I'm dramatic about everything and nothing, I'm not gonna put all that on you at once. I'm not gonna do that.
My whole point.
As we get to know each other.
My whole point.
Okay. Then you may be like, Alice, you're doing a little too much. You'll be like, you know what, you're right.
Nobody's doing that on the first.
I get what the guys were trying to say.
No. But to Asia's point, right? Asia's point, because she understands how she can be perceived sometimes, right? Let me know if I'm wrong. I believe that she understands how she can be perceived sometimes, right? And because she's been there, done that, she doesn't have time for the bullshit, right? And for some people, that can be a lot all at once. So over time, during the conversation, I'm going to ask you a few questions here and there while we're in the mix of doing this and the third. And as we progress on, let's say maybe over 5 dates, I'm going to find a little bit more. But there are some people who don't want to ask these questions. Dang, you asking me this? Like that, because their representative is there. And they went into the situation thinking one thing, okay, well, I'm going to show her up this way. I'm going to show her up that way. But it's just like, no, I'm asking you a direct question. And what she's saying is that a lot of the people that she's interacting with, they're not used to the directness. So because of that, she has to kind of, you know what? Let me slow it down a little bit. She's not watering herself down. It's just let me slow it down a little bit.
But why
they can gather that within the first set of questions.
Where she go?
My thing is, why does that have to be, because it's a man that you're dating or whoever you're dating, why does it have to be their representative? Why can't it be them giving you endorses? Why are you asking me 100 questions on the first date?
Because they're gonna lie.
I can't never 100 questions on the first date. You're talking about hyperbole, Mary. That's hyperbole. I'm not asking 100 questions on the first date.
But what I'm saying, if something makes somebody uncomfortable, why can't their reasoning be in regards to, hey, I'm just trying to give myself to you in doses? That doesn't make sense to me. Why is it a pass for you, but not for them?
That's not doses by you not want to answer a question.
Yeah,
what
she's saying is different. What she's saying is they're going to answer according to what she asks, though.
I've turned down questions from people plenty of times because I feel like we weren't to that point where I needed to give you a response. So if I'm with somebody and they ask me something that I feel like I'm not comfortable revealing at that time because I'm giving them doses of me, then I don't have to respond.
But that's different.
That's not different. How is it not different?
No, I think if that's different, you choosing not to answer. What it sounds like to me, she's saying is they're going to answer according to what she thinks that they want to hear. That she wants to hear. That's different. That's the representative.
Answer. Why is it a representative if they choose not to answer? Why is that?
That part may not be the representative, but I think that when a man is answering, whoever, but I think when they're answering the question, it could be they're answering according to what they think Asia wants to hear.
But you're assuming. You're assuming because somebody doesn't want to respond in the way that you want to hear them respond. that it's their representative. That's not the case. Because me personally, if I don't feel like answering something or I don't feel like following your rules, guess what? I'm not gonna fucking do it.
Yeah,
but that's your authentic self
I'm
thing.
sure that there's other things that led up to that, and everybody's just getting stuck on the part about the questions. I'm sure there's other things that led to that implied that it wasn't fucking representative.
Well,
thank you, Q.
no,
Like,
so,
thank you, Q. Like, people sit there and like they're not. I don't understand. Like, it's
No.
like there's way more to this. Thank you, Q. 'Cause
Yeah, there's
not
a
just
bigger
asking a question.
There's a broader, but I think that a tapered, representation of yourself isn't you fully, right? Because if you think you being assertive fully is going to be off-putting and therefore you're not that, you would have to say that's not the full version of yourself, and that's fine. A man that doesn't know you, right? If a man doesn't know you and he chooses to answer in a general nature or not at all, or switch the question, right? Because he may assume that you may not like his answers until he builds more rapport. So what Mary's saying, it could both be true. And so are those representatives or not?
Not for the fifth time. It's not, because listen, when I'm not giving you a lighter version of myself. What I'm saying is I'm multifaceted. I said this 2 hours ago. At this point, I am multifaceted. Am I going to give you everything of me all at once? Absolutely not. That's not how I show up. I'm giving you doses of me, because there's no way anybody really should show up 100, like a full force. Well, Mary said she did. I'm sorry. Mary said she did full force. I'm not coming full
B
force.
actually does.
But when you asking those
not
questions,
going full force.
Asia, even when you asking those questions, they can kind of get a gist of, okay, she's very direct, she's blunt,
yes,
she's assertive. So they can gather that within the first date, potentially.
But
So then you're not being a representative, you're being yourself. You just obviously you're giving it dose, and then maybe the next date you're gonna ask different level of questions.
But there's ways to be your authentic self, and then you decide what you want to do. I feel like the biggest issue is that women specifically don't decide to choose. Me, I'm like I said, I'm a nurturer, I'm a caterer. That's just who I am off rip without even doing it intentionally. You get what I'm saying? I was doing for my husband far before we even got married. Shit that people that are married would say, I wouldn't even get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and make his breakfast. I'm not doing that.
Because that was the vibe y'all were on. That's why you did that for him.
Because I'm being authentically me.
No, but Mary, that's not dating, though. Weren't y'all friends?
Huh? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so that wouldn't apply, though.
But again, yes, it would still apply because I've done it before with people I've dated.
But
I've
you
always
just first met.
But again, I am authentically me 100%. So me being who I am, I also can walk away. So I'm not afraid to give 100% me. Because if this shit don't work out or it's not for me, guess where I'm going? Out the door. The problem is with women nowadays, they won't be authentically them because they feel like, one, they're not going to get chose, or two, they don't know how to walk away.
That doesn't mean my testimony, because I'm not a choose me hoe. I don't do the pick me.
But see, also, Mary, I noticed you noted traits about yourself that men want. So it's easy to be those things that men want. But when you have some traits that are not so appealing, are you holding those type of traits back?
I'm not. I'm loud as hell. I will push your ass out. You're getting all of that. You're getting all of that regardless of who you are. Anybody that knows me knows I will debate up here with my nigga the same way I debate any fucking where. Like that's just me. But a lot of things are, again, me being who I am. I also am conservative. I'm not showing my ass on social media. That's just not who I am as a person. But again,
you're multifaceted. That's your
but here's but
how is that a representative if that's just not me?
Can you
I
see
think that's what she's saying?
Can you see this logic though? That if you had a trait that you knew was slightly off-putting based on your experience, right? Could you see how it would make sense for somebody to hold that trait back a little bit?
But that's what I'm saying. Nothing. I'm saying.
Wait. You're not saying that. I asked. So if you had a trait that you knew was off-putting and you're on a date with somebody that you do not know, that's not your friend, are you willing to just let that off-putting trait fly? Generally, could you see how somebody would be like, let me hold this back a little bit? That makes sense to me.
I
don't-
can
it doesn't
see
seem
that,
like.
but that's not what I do. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm
we ain't
loud.
saying. I'm
I'm
not.
dramatic. I laugh all the time at every fucking thing, whether it's funny or not.
Mary, you kept you saying that already. What I'm saying is it logically sound to say I have a trait that can be rough for people, rough on people? Is it logical to say let me trim this down a little bit?
That's what I'm saying. I get it. Yes. You asked how do I show up? I'm saying
No, I'm
I don't
asking
do
you.
that.
I'm asking you a question now, like in terms of if Asia did that, because I think Adrian's not wrong, right? I think the representative word is a trigger, like submissive, but does it make sense though? To me, it still makes sense,
Yeah,
but
I don't-
it's not totally you either.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. My thing is, if you're somebody that's 100% insecure and you're not showing it on the first couple of dates, you go ahead and get into a relationship, and now you insecure all of a sudden. You think that's gonna be good?
Men be insecure though.
Everybody be insecure.
We ain't talking
You know,
about
to an
everybody. I
extent.
don't do the everybody shit.
But-
Men be insecure
But I'm just saying, like,
in a lot of ways.
my thing is, if you're not honest about your traits that are off-putting, it's not going to make it any better once you get into a relationship.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because sometimes, a lot of times, you don't know people's deal breakers.
Yeah.
How are you
Somebody, for instance, me being loud could be somebody's deal breaker.
How do you show 100% of yourself in 2 hours? Like I'm a very logical person, so I'm really thinking like, how do I show all of myself? But that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's not all of
have to
yourself.
happen.
It's about being who you are or who's presented in that moment. In that moment,
Exactly.
If you're not if you're not in an
Exactly.
argument, if you're not in an argument, you're not gonna show who you are in an argument. But also, but also as a person, I'm not gonna forcefully hold myself back.
Neither
from
do
a
I.
way that I
Neither
may
do I.
People hate women that
Neither
speak
do
up.
I.
People hate women that speak
You know,
up.
I do that all the time, every day, all day.
But that's what that's what the difference is. My thing is, if it's presented in that time and you're forcefully holding yourself back from being you, then that's
Never
it.
said that.
Listen,
Never said that. Never would do that.
Y'all, listen, y'all got it fucked up, right? No one person is showing up 100%, because we live in this bullshit ass era where everybody's like so woke and so real. I'm real. I'm 100% real. I'm this, I'm that. Ain't nobody fucking like that. Nobody is like that. We're all showing a part of us to people, and we will all keep it a buck with people. Like, if you're that type of person, you're gonna keep it real. Yeah, you're gonna keep it real with them, but you're not showing up outside of a certain realm on day one. Like, so if you have a temper, you're not gonna go on a date. The first day you're around that person, not even the first week or maybe even month, and you're just gonna show your temper to be like, well, this is who I am. If anything, that shit's probably either gonna slip out and you're gonna have to own it. And that's you keeping it real. That's you being your authentic self. It's like, take it or leave it, right? But you're not, or you might even mention that on a date. You might say, you know, the one flaw that I have is I love lots of women. The one flaw that I have, or a couple flaws that I have, is this. You might speak that, right? But nobody's showing that up. Right. Nobody walks in and you're not gonna get a representative. You're gonna get 100% me on day one. Nobody fucking does that.
But that's, again, if the situation is presented, you being your authentic self when a situation is presented. So if you're in a situation where you stand on everything that you believe in and somebody mentions something that you might be a little triggered by, if you're speaking upon it as yourself, why hold back because you're on a date?
It's not holding back because you're on a date. It's like, I'm not going to sit there and be real, raw. I can be very firm in my conversation and not be emotional about it, right? And so that comes with time, because that's just what I do as a human being. I'm going to be a little bit more emotional with my man than a new man that I just met last week. I'm trying to get to know. So we're talking about Brittany Griner, for example, right? We talking about Brittany Griner shows up. I mean, what?
Fuck Brittany Griner, bitch.
Okay. So talking about Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner, and I'm very passionate about what happened, right? He's talking about he feels total opposite of me. I'm not gonna be like, nigga, da-da-da. I'm not doing that. I am not doing that.
But you don't do that on a regular. So that wouldn't be you.
No, Mary, listen. Yes, I do, because different variables can come up. If we're dating 2 years down the line and then we having a conversation, maybe something that's built up, maybe I'm having a bad day, maybe I just don't want to no holds bar. I'm like, nigga, da. As far as the first date, the first week, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, you're wrong. You sound real crazy right now. Are you serious? Like I'm gonna be a little. I'm gonna be It's still the same exact firm. It's still firm. But I can sit there and but my man 2 years or my husband or whatever 2 years down the line, he made it piss me off. And because now at this point it's been a buildup, I'm gonna sit there and react differently. So things comes in level. Things come in levels. It's life. Life happens. I just met you last week. There's no background for me to sit there and be like, nigga, you pissed me off last month. So anything you'll say right now is going to irritate me. I don't have that history with you to sit there and give you that much energy. Yeah, I don't have a history with you to give you all of my truths and all of my to give you.
After Q, we're gonna get Mr. White. We're gonna get Mr. White to give us a closing argument on this shit.
We as people are constantly going through shit in life. We're constantly evolving. You're going to be in a relationship with somebody, constantly getting to know them throughout time, right? There's stuff that some of us haven't even experienced yet that we don't know how we are in those situations. So when we're with the person that we're with, they're going to find out how we are in those situations. So for somebody, that's why I asked the question, who up here went into anything completely this, completely that, completely that? Because if you're saying, oh, I went in completely healed, you're probably still going to go through some shit in this world that you're going to have to heal from while being in your relationship. Life doesn't just stop. You know what I mean? You're healed up until that point of meeting that person. You're whole up until the point of meeting that person. But to be like complete, oh, you have no insecurities until some shit happens that presents an insecurity. So
but again, you're completely yourself at that time that you presented whatever you
can be authentic, but again, you're not giving somebody all of you in one year, 1 month, 6 months. That's not happening. Everybody on this fucking panel, I believe, who's in a relationship has given bits and pieces of themselves over time. But again, you're not watering yourself down in that process. You just didn't give that up front.
But also, too, I would feel like setting will play a matter. Like if we're on a date, we obviously can't give 100% of ourselves on a date. So I feel like setting as well will play a part in it as well.
Well,
yeah, but B, if you got a tendency to slap bitches, you're also not going to slap her in a setting that calls for slapping a bitch either.
Well, I can't say that.
You don't just say, oh, we in a setting where they are out here slapping bitches, so let me show my true, authentic self and slap the shit out you. It doesn't happen like that. Everybody has some part of themselves that they hold back until they get a little bit more comfortable or real situation. Exactly.
So what, he gonna wait till they get home to slap their ass?
Well, yeah, I mean,
sometimes.
I'm not
because abusers don't just on the first date say, I used to be my ex-girlfriend.
I'm not waiting for that shit. I'm not waiting for that.
Thank you. That's you. And a lot of times people don't know. A lot of times people don't know until the situation presents itself, right? It may be charming, and that may be a part of them. Hey, he's sweet, he's this and the third, but then he also has this other side. You pissed him off. He didn't like how you did whatever, so he knocked you upside your head, right?
Ooh. You don't go with that when people not showing up as themselves. That's the issue. With people not showing up as themselves.
Because they can be, a couple of things can be true, right? They could be funny, they can be charming, they can be, a hard worker, they can be all of these things, but they also could be somebody that goes ahead and beat your ass. They can also be that
They're
person.
A covert narcissist.
They can also be that person, right? Yeah. They can. So, but I'm not going to on the first date. If me and B are out one day, we're going to the first date. By the way, B, I happen to fight my nigga occasionally, just so you know. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to do that. B is not going to do something that's going to piss me off at the table, and I'm not just going to go reach across, well, I would hope, not going to reach across the table and smack him. Like, I'm not going to do that because I just met you. You got it takes time to get there. It takes time. So what you're saying, Mary, isn't wrong, but it takes
not
time.
Realistic.
It's not realistic.
It's just not realistic.
How is it not realistic? Because at that point, are you showing up as yourself? Or are you a representative? Are you being
You're still yourself?
So I believe the best way to sum it up is you have a group of people who are going to give themselves to someone else in dosages. Then you have Mary, me, who's just going to give it out. I mean,
listen. I think you have to see. There's people watching. Right, we leave people in limbo. That shit doesn't help nobody. So I think the most of the people are gonna fall in the category of the former, B, where people are gonna, the traits that they don't like about themselves are not gonna rear their head until they need to, or the traits that maybe they don't even like but they need to work on, or they know can be off-putting. It's natural for those things not to come out as quickly. Like, B, you say bitch when you want to, but you're not saying bitch on your date if you talking to her about bitches.
That's true.
True.
That's very true.
Right, so you're not gonna be on your Kevin Samuels, God bless the dead shit right away about bitch this and bitch that. You may give your opinion, and it may sound like Mr. Samuels, but it's not gonna come out the same way, because why have that energy?
Right. But
But
over
is that
time, you may
representative?
get to the point where you be
But
like, I
hold on,
love the
Q,
fact that
Q,
with
Q,
my woman, I
goddamn,
can
now
talk
Q, I
bitch.
was on a roll, Playboy.
Go ahead, him.
You know
Like,
he lost this train of thought.
Man, now I done lost my fucking train of thought. This nigga, man. Yeah, what Q was saying, that's what I was gonna say.
My question is, but is that a representative?
No, it's not.
It's not a representative.
So-
if over time B have built enough relationship with this woman where he talk like they talk like that. That's how he talk in his house. He is his authentic self. Yeah, he's not gonna do that on the first day, but they at the point where he know who he's with. She understand that he can be himself, and he like, yeah, this bitch at work, and that's how they talk in that house.
You can,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you can be authentically yourself, right? And I think that you don't have to show your whole self, but when an opportunity comes to show yourself, if you don't because it's too early, that is a representation.
That's what I was saying. That force.
That's not what the fuck you was saying.
That's not what you said, Mary. That's not what you said. That isn't what
Did
you
I not
said.
say that
We're
exactly?
all multifaceted. You have different levels to who you are.
No, did I not say? Hold on, we're gonna run this clip back. Make sure you get this him. Did I not say when you have to force yourself to not be yourself in a situation, that's a representative? I said that. Thank you, him, because I did say that.
But nobody up here said that they wouldn't be their authentic self. It's just how you deliver
It's
it.
in dosages and it's circumstantial, kind of like the first thing.
What Hamp said was basically a combination of what the both of y'all said, and you didn't say that.
Yes, I did. I said if the situation arises and you got to force yourself not to react the same way.
Oh, Bob! Oh,
Bro, you about
hit the buzzer.
2 hours.
Bob is in the building.
We wrapping this shit up.
Yeah, we wrapping this shit up, but it's good to see your face though. And
Hamp, get that clip. Get that clip, Hamp.
I'm gonna get that clip.
Say mine back too, Hamp, because I said a lot. Spin it around the
Right.
finger because Mary said Mary tried it.
Here's the thing about when y'all say some shit, you say too much shit at once.
I kept saying you're all multifaceted. I said it first.
No, not you. Nay. We don't need you on your P. Diddy shit right now. Relax.
You always tell me on my P. Diddy. I don't care. I'm gonna say something.
Yelling out ad-libs.
Trickle down, and everybody gonna say what I said.
Q, grab her. Yo, so
Adrian didn't even get to close it home.
I know.
He was gonna say some bullshit anyway.
Yo, that's why it's hard to like hear it, because y'all be saying a lot, especially you, Mary. You be saying a lot,
bro. But I be right. I don't care what nobody say.
I mean,
that's because you're your authentic self.
Yes,
Again, her unpopular opinion.
All right, Adrian, go ahead. Give us the final on this topic.
Come on, Adrian.
He sleep.
Bring a notepad.
You're not even unmuted. Unmute, Adrian.
Bring a notepad.
All right, nah, I was just gonna say what Hamp said and what Mary did say earlier. So that's all I was gonna say. And that it seems like the word that we got wrapped up on was representative. So I guess what I understood what you were saying, Love, was that I'm not gonna give all of me, or I am gonna hold some things back, but that's still me being my authentic self. So I was just coming from a place to really kind of let you know that I understood you, because you weren't gonna listen to anything I said. You know what I'm saying? That was clear. You know what I'm saying? So I said, let me just give some understanding, and then maybe you'll listen down the road. Yeah,
you're a gaslighter, but I love it anyway.
Interesting. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. This shit right here was dope. I like the topic. I think we all gotta do well. You know, we'll give our final thoughts. So look, I don't really mess with Jerry Springer, but I do like one of his constructs. Bub. Final thought.
Hey, yo, y'all did good tonight, man. Like I was watching the whole joint while I was yelling at people and doing my thug thizzle at the job. So I just wanted to come show my love, man. Y'all held it down. You know what I'm saying? Mary did enough talking for everybody, so I don't got to give a final thought.
Word. Alex.
So, like I said earlier, in places with spirits of debate, don't get louder. Just improve your argument. Cause y'all be giving me a headache, and I'm tired, and it's late. That's
Oh
it.
my God, here she go.
I'm just saying.
B.
Final thought. Continue to work on yourself. Continue to be the best version of yourself. Everyone needs someone that they can look up to. We all know who that person is, so help the Stampede Watson. But no, seriously, continue to work on being the best version of yourself, and seriously, get you someone that you can hang out with maybe 1 or 2 days out the week. You can learn some things from that person, and just keep being the best version of yourself. Work on you.
Word. Mary.
Y'all, you know what I always say: stand on your shit, and I'm always do that. But also, just don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to be the 1%, like you say. That's all right too.
Word.
You're
Q.
Yeah. Oh, you
Q.
oh, you want me? All right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bub over there looking like Miss Debbie. You feel me? He was my, you feel me?
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
And also, everybody keep in mind, listen, we all live a secret life, a private life, and a public life. Nobody is 100% they self all the time or not code switching to some extent. Fuck anybody who judging you. Live your motherfucking life and walk in your motherfucking truth.
Word.
This how you know I'm with
Yeah,
Q. He took everything that I was gonna say.
A plus.
Daggone it. No,
Damn.
I wasn't done
Yo,
yet.
it's my turn. Yo, it's my
No,
turn.
because he said Q and A.
Yo, it's my turn. I got the full screen. Yo.
Go ahead.
All right. I see how you be feeling, Hint, when we be cutting you off. Yo, my bad, bro. So final thought. I say first with the volunteering and giving back to the community. I say start small. Start with something you could be consistent in, because I think that's one of the biggest things I see. People want to run out here and help, but if you can't do it on a consistent basis, or if it's something you're not going to be able to be a part of and really commit to it, don't even start, because you could cause more damage than good. In terms of the code switching thing, I think everybody should be malleable. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that you should be able to act how you need to act for the specific environment. So make sure you're being strategic. Make sure that you're giving the environment what the environment needs, so that you can get out of that environment what you need to get out of it. And lastly, definitely be your authentic self. That's the only way you are going to attract what you need to attract. There's no need to hold back anything. Definitely, if it's something that you are working on and it's an area of growth and improvement, you don't got to put that out there at all. You know what I'm saying? But if it comes out, it comes out. But learn to love yourself, be who you are, and that's it, y'all.
Word. Nay.
Listen, y'all all said a lot of stuff I was gonna say. Anyway, yes, shouts out to Bub, because we haven't seen you in a minute. Shouts out to B for coming back and joining us. And yes, be authentic, walk in your truths, and be honest about who you really are. But you have to, give it little small dosages. So I respect that, Asia. I definitely respect that. Give little dosages, but it's still authentically yourself.
Word. Asia.
So I want to say, do you love you? You have to get to know yourself. And I think that's a very important part of this journey, is get to know who you are, love out loud, live out loud, and be authentic.
Word. Yeah, I think it's real. I think you got to know where you are at all times, right? And conduct yourself accordingly. I don't think your code has to switch when doing that. So be careful. Make sure that when you look in that mirror, everything is everything. Because if you go home and at any point that mirror ain't looking back the right way, that's something you gotta assess for sure. Shit hard out here. We busy as hell, but are we too busy to help our own people? Right? They got Chinatown, they got, I don't know, Jewtown, whatever other town they got. We don't got shit. We don't band together enough. Maybe if it's not everybody, find your tribe. Help people that you understand, you know. But I think we got to do a little bit more. No bullshit. And then in terms of the representative, I think Q's on to something. You know what I'm saying? I think I got the least representative out of all y'all for sure. So shout out to that. But it's hard, man. It's hard because you know we got flaws, and to share them all at once don't make no sense. You know what I mean? So like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we out.